that okay? My claps don't give. Like, my claps are not great. Mob is never satisfied with my first time clap. I always need to do a second clap for some reason. I need to learn how to clap.
You need to do it, and this needs to be slow as well.
Like, how? Can you do it for me?
Yeah, so you just make sure you go.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you don't do it fast. Yeah,
Because clearly I don't know how to do it, and I do it above the mic. I don't know where I think I am. I have no idea. Anyway, welcome to the Sai Sessions podcast. My name is Sai Jones. I want to do a quick introduction because y'all know that I'm not a formalities person because formalities are for who, not for me. I've got DJ producer and also A&R for Sondela Records. Is that formal for you?
that's all right. Yeah,
That's all
I
right.
produce a bit, but yeah,
Yeah?
more of the first and the third thing is definitely where I'm at the moment.
The first and the third.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
DJ producer A&R for Sunday for Sondela sitting right here with me today. We're gonna have a conversation and a half. We've been chatting before this because you and I know each other. We're close like that, but we're gonna hear a lot from him today. I want to prick his brain. That's what I want to do. And I'm so excited to be doing that today. I've got Sef Kombo sitting next to me. Welcome, Sef Kombo, to the Sai Sessions podcast.
Yes, thank you. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you for having me and inviting me. I'm back in South Africa, as they say, for 2022. So yeah, we're here. Yeah.
You know, whenever I know that you also host like a radio session,
Yeah.
some radio sessions that you do. Whenever I have someone who has their own pod, their own radio show, their own radio sessions, I sometimes think that they can just take over the show and just be like, hey, do the links,
Yeah,
do the intros.
Nah, I don't do those things. But like, I think I may have the ability to do it.
Probably.
But like, do you know what it is for me? I've just kind of always seen podcasting or radio presenting as something I take head on because I've always kind of been conscious about my voice and how I actually sound.
Oh, yeah.
From not me listening to it, but me listening back to it.
I feel you.
So when it came to doing radio, national radio in UK, I just had decided to just tackle it head on and not worry about how
How
I
you
actually sounded,
sound.
but making sure that I actually sound, audible to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm a radio girl and I'm so self-conscious about how I sound as well for the longest time. People used to say, no, you sound great. I even do freaking voiceovers for a living, but still, hearing the sound of my voice back is something so awkward to this day.
Really?
Don't know.
I've got over it.
You must tell me your secret. I think it's the overthinker in me.
No, so there's actually a radio host called Treble T in the UK, part of like Rampage Sound. So he was like even breakfast for a station that started I think in 2001 or something like that called One Extra, and his voice is like. It's really squeaky and really high pitch, but he just attacks his radio show. He makes it fun. He makes it warm. He makes it inviting. So for me anyway, he was my inspiration to not really let the kind of how my voice sounds be a problem to me.
Okay.
If he could do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Even if I sound like crazy. I mean, I think there are voices which are not really radio friendly.
Same, yeah.
But I feel like if he does have any, cause I've never spoken to him about it, he didn't have a problem with it, so I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, let's do it.
But you know what I always thought, right? We've got this weird culture in South Africa where people go, oh, your voice sounds so great. You should be on radio. That's not the only thing that takes for you to be on radio, right? And I guess with him, you saying he's entertaining. If you're entertaining and you're good at projecting yourself or for people who can't see you and still be entertaining, that's a talent. I would hire that talent right there, me personally.
100%.
Yeah, so it didn't matter what he sounded like as
Yeah.
long as what he says is entertaining.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what I fucks with.
So if you're worried about your voice, then I think all the other moving parts in order to host a radio show, especially drive time or breakfast, is like, it's gonna take over you, and you're not gonna do the right things in what you need to do if you're thinking about your voice.
Yeah, 100%. They need energy, those shows. I've done a drive time show before back in the Eastern Cape. Yeah, you are.
Never. No, I'm a specialist. I'm a specialist.
A specialist show. I did. For the longest time for my radio career, I also did a specialist show for like 3 years of my life back in the Eastern Cape. I did a specialist show. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, so you told me that you're currently learning Zulu. It's so hilarious to me because I'm thinking I'm thinking that's where the energy is also coming from. Like now you're learning Zulu. So asikhulume isiZulu ke manje.
Sorry, just slowly for me. Slowly, because
Sithini sikhuluma isiZulu manje.
I'm not that great at Zulu, so sometimes when I hear it, I'm not like. I know you said something about Zulu, but
Yes.
Manji, I'm not too sure what that means.
Manje is a now. Let's speak
Now.
Let's speak some Zulu.
Okay. So we'll just do the
Basic stuff.
basics.
What do you know? Tell
Okay.
tell everyone else what you know, because I know what you know. So what do you know?
So sawubona,
Sawubona.
unjani,
Ngiyaphila njani?
niyaphila, danko or niyabonga.
Great. Sef, that's great.
I'm getting there.
No, that's great. That's
I'm
great.
trying, and it's good because I've been here now for 5 straight like summers, so coming in 2018, and I just thought that this year, because last year I went to Durban for the first time, so I know like the KZN they speak Zulu mostly, I guess, yeah. So on an app that I use, I decided to just try and learn Zulu.
Yeah.
And at the very least, be able to ask someone how they are and be able to respond, say hello, say thank you, maybe say see you later. And it's kind of developed from there. And I've got like a lovely network of people here who also know
Yeah,
Zulu.
you do.
And yeah, we can kind of try and conversate. And it's fun because everyone's kind of laughing, but they're not laughing at me. They're laughing and making it fun, and they're making it inviting for me as well. And they're really happy that I'm trying to speak in their native kind of tongue.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're really trying, and that's cool. And I'm willing to teach you these words, or say it like this, or So yeah, I'm enjoying the ride.
Look, I remember I saw your post on Facebook saying that you're a Zulu man, something like that. I think it was something along those lines. What did you say?
I said something, and then I said, "P.S. I'm not Zulu."
No, I even commented on that post where you said that I'm Zulu now or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think I'm.
And then in my mind, I asked myself, how did you choose Zulu? Did you choose? Because I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe somewhere in his lineage, there's some Zulu in there. No. And then now you told me you chose Zulu. I'm like, okay, so which one? Which is it?
Well, the other ones were a bit difficult to kind of get my handle on because of like clicks and things like maybe at the kind of back of the phone.
Yeah.
Those were a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But I thought the Zulu was kind of. There was some similarities with Swahili. It's Swahili, as you say. So Zulu wasn't.
How do you say? It's a Swahili.
It's Swahili, but I'm saying this is Swahili.
Is it
Zulu?
Oh, saying Swahili in Zulu. So
yeah,
it's That's funny. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah. So I know it's Singizi. It's Zulu. It's Swahili.
Awesome.
Not yet. steady, slow down. But yeah, like there was similarities with Swahili in certain words, like Ngolez Wibili or Ngolez Witatu. Like, so 3 is Tatu in Swahili.
Yeah.
Mbili is 2 in Swahili.
Yeah.
So there was those things that was really like helping me along. And as I said off camera, like Ilala Lapa is sleep here. Lala Hapa in Swahili is sleep here.
Sleep here.
Yeah, so yeah, there's some words that I'm kind of like it's coming.
So wait, let me get this right. So you do not have Zulu in your lineage? Do you? Or do you?
Nah.
So you chose that you were like, I want to learn isiZulu.
No, it was the one that was actually available, like on the app that I used.
Oh, there's no Xhosa there. There's no Betty. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Would you have wanted though to choose another native native South African language?
But that's a politically charged question. I think.
How is it politically
I can't
charged?
say it. Can't
No,
say it.
I'm not
Like,
saying
would
choose
I
a
like to
favorite.
choose- I was
I'm not saying
given.
choose a favorite, I'm just
what was in front of me was
asking.
given. I'm not too sure. Like, okay, my first introduction into the South African language was Zulu, so I guess I've gone that direction. And this was back in 2012. Yeah, I've never really. All I knew was Sambanani. That's all I knew, and Unamanga. That's all I knew. That's all I knew.
Sorry, he
Nothing
told me
else.
off air how he knew Unamanga.
We'll leave it there. Innit?
It's female related, obviously, because Unamanga, uyaxoka.
No comment. No comment. But yeah, it's been cool. Like I say, there are similarities, so I think I've kind of been able to guide myself through some bits quite smoothly.
No, you're doing well, actually.
Thank you.
To be honest with you, you're doing very well. Never mind me laughing. I did say I'm not laughing at you.
I know.
It's just the excitement.
Yeah,
You're doing very, very well. You're doing very well. Now, I actually was also thinking, I thought, because when I wasn't sure, I was like, okay, cool. What's a Zulu man doing in Tanzania? And then I'm like, what is it? And I'm like, what's a Tanzanian British doing with isiZulu? Do you get me? So it was like, I was just asking myself a bunch of stuff, saying, Kuri, from today, you are a Tanzanian British Zulu guy.
Oh wow. It's a lot, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow, welcome again, Sef. Actually, I just thought I should do that and put you a bit on the spot. Just for the fun of it.
Just for the vibe.
Yes, just for the fun of it.
That's all right.
So let's talk about you now. Let's talk about you as a DJ.
Yeah.
Paint us a picture of how, when, and why.
Wow. So I picked up my first kind of vinyl in, I want to say 2003.
Okay.
And that was just due to actually me. I used to live in a place, South London, in Brixton. Born and grown up there, and I have lots of friends down there. And I went to school in like central London, and then I met a guy, Father FIFA, Chris, who lived in Brixton with me, and that's how we connected. And then I left in 2001 to go up to Northwest London. So where Wembley Stadium, England, those football fans, where England play. So I was quite isolated. And I used to go back to Brixton just for, to still feel at home, because moving from one hood, I mean like hood, like not like...
Don't know what the hoods look like.
Like
Like
not...
you've seen our hood, so make a comparison.
Yeah, not like... Yeah, it's like if you move from... they are big, these places, like Soweto and Alex, but let's just say you move from Soweto to Alex, or vice versa. Places where, like, it's not... So maybe it's not... Let's forget about living conditions. Let's say it's just on the lower scale of something for what the big city kind of offers. It's like the suburbs. It's maybe like a particular type of demographic, maybe a particular type of salary and stuff like that. That are there, or the types of things that kind of goes on. So I've moved from one to the other, but the next one has been... It's a little bit outskirty from where things go down. Yeah. So like that was kind of like a big kind of move. So I felt quite isolated there because you don't know anyone. So I went back down to Brixton like every weekend and stuff like that after college. And then Chris got like a decks. He got 1210s or vinyls, and he was mixing UK garage and stuff like early UK grime, and then I used to just pick up the vinyl and just mix, and I swear I don't even know how I learned to mix, but I learned to mix to a competent level. I don't think for performance level, but to a level where like I could get two tunes together.
Sorry, you actually can tell, speaking from experience, you can tell that it's experience speaking, because competence level, professional level, performance level, there's a difference.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, there's a difference.
100%.
Right.
Definitely is. So yeah, and then later down as like you kind of grow a little bit older. So I know between the ages of say like 16 and 18 you're still very immersed in like your friendship groups from school and you know, but as you get older even then you start to maybe you might pick up your first job. So whilst your like weekends was probably based with your friends, now your weekends aren't really, so you kind of, I wouldn't necessarily grow apart, but I guess quality time starts to drift a little bit because you're now not even in the same area, you know what I mean? And it's time consuming. So I had to adapt to my own environment now, which was cool, nice and quiet, you know. And then I picked up a software called Virtual DJ, and then I started picking up like all songs from LimeWire and stuff, and was just like file sharing stuff. So I was now mixing hip hop and R&B on this app, but I never had a cue, so I actually had to use waveforms to then see where, you know, where maybe the break was, or not even where the break is because they don't really have much breaks, but like where the vocals might come in and stuff like that. So I used to basically use sync on the thing because you definitely can't be trying to
Yeah, like
push
yeah,
it
true.
a
On virtual
computer.
DJ, like
No ways,
yeah,
no way.
yeah.
So yeah, sync and stuff, and
He's
but
explaining himself for using sync. That's such
yeah,
a
yeah,
DJ
yeah.
thing
I'm
to do, by
sorry.
the way.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, just using waveforms to kind of just understand. But then I understood more the concept of DJing, and then I kind of came to more a performance level of being able to do that. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I kind of got into DJing, but not to a point where I wanted to actually take it seriously. Seriously. I was in university and stuff, and then yeah, like things kind of changed, and I just kind of 2006, 2008, I got disillusioned with uni. Um, I wish I went to a university outside of London, because if you go to a university in London and it's just me, you're basically you're almost going to work, because you go to university at say 9 o'clock start, and then you're traveling with all the commuters who are going to work on the underground. So everyone's just like, it's just,
Yeah.
and you're like, and then you go to study in. I went to London Metropolitan University. That was in like Moorgate. So you're already with like, you're in the city. So you're with bankers. You know, like just the kind of suit and tie type people just around you when you come out of your lectures and stuff like that. So it wasn't fresh. Like, so if you go and study outside of London, where it's maybe a bit more open, it's very student based, or like you might have a student campus and then you got your halls there. It's quite like you're kind of aware you're in another world. You know what I mean? So I got disillusioned with studying fully and hard in uni, because I was in an environment where I was almost, uni was like going to work, because I'm going to work with other commuters, and then I'm leaving with all those commuters going back to West London.
That sounds draining.
It was off over 3 years. I probably would have had a better experience university wise, because university is supposed to be a good experience while you're learning, meeting people,
Yeah.
doing parties and stuff like that. So from that's how I kind of got into music more.
Yeah.
Like, because I like was trying to find another avenue of creativity. So I was like, let me try and take this music thing a little bit more,
Yeah.
like serious in terms of collecting and stuff.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
I was
yeah.
playing at a couple parties, like just young parties, just yeah, we're having a drink up. Do you want to come and play? Yeah, cool. Just connect the laptop and put it together and stuff like that. And then I started collecting like dance music. So at the time we had kind of shifted from garage and grime into a genre called UK funky.
Okay.
So I started mixing that up, and that was like a bit more fun, a bit
More
easier.
fun.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I wasn't thinking about like 99 BPM and trying to move from 99 up to 105 with some of the hip hop and R&B, which was still cool, but I was like kind of coming off that, and I was like trying to probably have as we call it, more mature kind of music to my ear. So back then we had like Soldier Boy and all them kind of like dance songs that were going on. So it was a bit childish. It was
Yeah.
cool and it was fun, but it was a little bit childish. You kind of, I'm getting a bit older and I want something a little bit more groovy, and that's when I kind of found house music kind of thing and UK funky, and that was cool. So I mixing it up, and then that got a bit childish, like MCing and talking about nursery rhyme stuff. So then I found soulful house.
Continue, actually. So then you
Soulful.
found Soulful
I found Soulful
House.
House. So my first Soulful House was like, I think Curing the Cause by
Oh,
Dennis Ferrer remix of Fish Go Deep was one of
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
first earliest kind of
Yeah,
introductions. Mood to Swing as well. Kings of Tomorrow,
yeah,
Another Day.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
those defected record stuff
Yes.
was like, yeah, I was feeling this. So like I was inspired by DJs like DJ Super D
Yeah.
and DJ Pioneer. They used to put out like some dope mixtapes, like dope. So we had like mixtape kind of culture in London. So we'll go to a rave, and then outside the rave there'll be fly packs with mixes
I
and
love the
stuff like
term
that.
rave, by the way, for some reason. It sounds so exciting because we don't really have raves.
You got it, groove.
Yeah, we've got groove, but groove is not like a rave. You've been
Yeah.
to, it's not like a
Yeah,
rave.
now because we have
Yeah.
underground clubs in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're
Oh,
inside, so we have
that
underground
is
clubs.
my
So you
energy.
come out, and then there'll be like that mixtape pack, and then like when everyone's going home, you got Mood to Swing, Can't Get Away. So like everyone can't get away, and everyone just grooving. It's like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is like, it's nice, innit? It's not
Yeah.
like all those kind of
Oh, those.
gimmicky kind of hip hop tunes or the UK funky songs. So we felt like we were just kind of growing up a bit musically in our palette, but also because we enjoy soul music. So your Mariah Carey, your Anita Bakers, and Tony Braxton and stuff like that. It was kind of like a maturing of that, but into dance music, kind of something we could kind of step a little bit differently to, you know. So I know Fantasia, Free Yourself was a big remix
Yeah, yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Like, so that was like something that we could like really groove to.
Yeah.
So I was picking up those records, and then I just started kind of developing my kind of palette and my kind of experience and my kind of taste in something I think I wanted to go into.
Wait, because I realized something. You're low-key influential when it comes to just the music space.
Yeah, I
I don't
tried
know
to
if
be.
you
Yeah,
you're low-key influential, and like when I say low-key influential, I don't have to explain myself because there's people who are high key, like, but you're low key. You're low key, and is that what your intention was
I
from
think
jump?
so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, I've always been one to kind of like pick up records and just really give it a go in the clubs and stuff like that. Especially I was like a warm up DJ, so I think it was an opportunity to really like kind of showcase that new sounds, new artists, new music and stuff. So, yeah, when I was picking up some of those early like soulful house records, I kind of was like, yeah, I want to kind of play this.
Okay.
I want to push this. But I mean, we had peers, like I mentioned a couple of names who were pushing like the new sounds as well. But and I kind of wanted to replicate that, but like kind of in my own way and into maybe the student market. So I made a decision because London was so, I would say, so kind of congested with like those people, some of my peers with their own crowd and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, we got a student market out there. So I used to like play house music to a student market. It took me a while to get there, but like, yeah, I got there.
You also strike me as someone who's very good at adapting as well.
Yeah, yeah, especially now, I would say as well, like adapt really well to different types of clientels and groups. I
Is
feel
that
like,
some people see that as like a bad thing. I don't know. Like a lot of people see this. Well, maybe it's because of maybe it's because I'm in South Africa. I don't know. But let me make an example. I don't know if you've seen through your visits here how divided the different genres in house music are.
yeah, yeah.
You've seen that, right? So
I
as soon
really
as
have.
so if you are there, you're strictly there, and if you're there, you're strictly there. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I feel like, and we'll get onto it. I think like I had an experience down in the Hyde Park Southern Sun. I played on a Friday for what they call the Friday Sundowner. Um, I played there in 2018, but I think 2019 I played there again, and this is when, like, you know, my piano was coming, kind of like, you know, trying to tease the people there, and some people were getting a bit, I wouldn't say aggressive, but they were aggressive with their words.
I get
They
what
were
you
kind of
mean.
aggressive with
Yeah,
their
yeah, I get
words.
what you mean.
You know, I'm not one to swear, but you know, they were saying some things. I was like, cool, but I think that the same said people are listening to it now. That's the crazy thing. Good music is good music, you know. So anyway, we'll get onto that.
If I will get onto that, like he has planned how to direct this conversation.
Navigate. Yeah, to navigate. Because we still got the story of, you know, where I've
Let's go
kind
there.
of
Like
got here.
Let's continue then that story.
So yeah, we were doing the South House, and then I was doing you know, the student scene. I used to go to a place called Leicester.
Yeah.
Every single Wednesday, I used to take a coach up there, which probably would take 3 hours, sometimes to train if I could afford it, to play to a student scene. But it wasn't just house; it was like everything, R&B and hip hop and bashment and or dance hall reggae and stuff, and then. I was kept on collecting house, and I was also playing the UK funky stuff and that. So I was building like a night, telling a story, and my favorite part was the UK funky side and the house side. So playing the charisma stuff as well, playing stuff from Doneo, or playing something from Invasion Sounds, or playing something from Dennis Ferrer, and building it up. Then had an unfortunate incident. So when I was playing in Brixton, I used to have a hard drive that was connected to my computer, but it was a powered hard drive.
Okay.
Playing now, doing my thing. I was playing a house music set. I think the monitor's on the side. Vibrations. You know what happens next. Things are not the things that was right there. Move across to the edge. Next minute, bang. I lost all my music. I'm sorry,
that's happened to me too. Well, not something like that, but losing music, yeah.
I lost all my music. Yeah, I lost all my music, man. Like, it was heartbreaking, because it wasn't the house music, it was the old R&B.
Yeah, the old
like,
music.
All the I had every album, every mixtape, everything. I was vexed. I was fuming. We was at the house. We were trying to, like, and I could just hear the spinning disc go, click, click.
I'm not laughing.
Oh no!
I'm not laughing at your pain from back then. I was
dead. So on I can't remember what this website was called, but basically, unlike TrackSource, which give you like 14 days, although you can retrieve your songs by giving them a young email, this app. This website had, I could still download all the songs which I had bought, because I think you have like a 5 shots on your song. So, but they were just house music. So I went and downloaded that, and I said, you know what, I was kind of progressing into the house stuff. So you know what, I'm just gonna be a house music DJ. So that's where it kind of started.
Okay.
That I just went from there. 'Cause I knew I wasn't going to retrieve that R&B.
No,
it was too deep.
It's going to be so hard to do that.
It was too deep. Even all the like dancehall songs, I had like all the what we call rhythms. So rhythms would be where, like, let's say Mad Ant's rhythm would be basically one song, one beat, 10 artists. So it could be Beanie Man, it could be Elephant Man, it could be you know, Idonia, it could be you know, Mavado, it could be like Vibes Cartel, all on one rhythm. So because what we call juggling is kind of like moving across a rhythm, and then kind of like it will probably play for 10 minutes, but it'll be like 5 different voices. I lost all those rhythms. I was vexed. That hurt me bad. So then I was like, I'm just gonna be a house music DJ. Done. I can't collect all of that. So decided to do that, and then push, and then like I come across songs like Twisted by Charisma, which is dope, DJ Gregory stuff, which is dope. So I was kind of doing a bit of like kind of tribal kind of house, you know, not so much on the tech side.
Yeah.
But I did have a few tech songs, like Body Rocks was one big song, but yeah, like discovering. Then I came across I don't know where I got it from, but I did download this song. What's it called? Even Though by Black Coffee. was the first song I kind of just heard it in my music thing. I was like, right, this song is nice, man. Like the soulful is beautiful, and then Watulin J was on there as well. And I was like, this is cool. Who's this black coffee guy? So I've done my research, found he's South African, but in finding out he was South African, I came across a website, Aphrodisia MP3. So I was like, whoa, like, what is this? Checking it out. Also, at the same time, when I was then started collecting some African stuff, which actually some of the people that my peers had been playing, like, so there was a song called Mountain High by I can't remember his name, but the Multiracial Records, I think, was based in Zimbabwe or Botswana, one of them. But that was an African song, innit? And this guy called Perempe was playing this song in his sets, and it was super dope. So while I was collecting some African records, like I said, I came across Aphrodisia MP3. I was working at Hugo Boss at the time, and this Polish guy called Simon was like, yo, like, I know you're collecting some tunes from Africa. He's like, there's this guy, I'm telling you, he's so talented. He's so talented. He just joined Red Bull Music Academy. You definitely need to check him out. I'm telling you, he's sick. I'm like, who's his name? It's Kulo the song. So imagine a Polish guy telling me about Kulo the song. Like, I'm still fascinated about that today, and I speak to him about him. Like, right, like, you put me on to so you know good music, you know what I mean? Like, found Kulo, then I'm downloading all the MP3s from Aphrodisia MP3. They're like raw, they're rough, they're just like, but I can hear the story. So then I was like, you know what? Africa's my home. I'm gonna
come back home, say.
I'm gonna make a mixtape of just these rhythms. Yeah, and that's when I found like what's that song from Kulo? I can't remember what it's called. 100 Zulu Warriors. So I made a mixtape called Afro Power Volume 1. And included like Turn Me On, Even Though, 100 Zulu Warriors, rest in peace, Rafa from Infinite Boys. You know, that I had that him in there. I had like Bodhisattva Records in there. AM Roots. That mixtape shook the streets in UK. Shook it because people were like, rah, what is this? This is serious, man. I love this mixtape. Like, it was so dope. Proud moment. And I remember I was listening to it. I was flying to Tanzania, and I've written. I've said this on air. I was flying to Tanzania, and I was listening to Afro Power One and 100 Zulu Warriors. And I looked to my left. I had the window open. Sunset. Flying into Tanzania. A tear came in my eye because like I felt that tune. That day I felt the tune. The break. It was like, rah, like, this is emotive music. How is this boy extracting his story and me understanding it and me, like, shedding a tear? I was like, rah, like, I'm flying into Africa. I'm hearing African dance music or electronic music or whatever you want to call it. It was like an amazing moment. Yeah. So that's how I kind of just got into the Afro house, like just collecting it, putting out a mixtape. I've mixed it on virtual DJ. Yep. So no queuing, nothing, just looking at waveforms and putting it together. Yeah, man. Like, so that's how I got my first really point of call. And I used to be called DJ Sef because I was playing funky house and then became Funkin' Sef.
Okay.
DJ Funkin' Sef, like that. And then when I started getting into, say, like more mature sounds or finding my actual identity, I became Sef Kombo.
Sef Kombo. More refined. You can
More refined.
Plus, I also feel like I also feel like, if you're more than a DJ, because you wear a lot of hats, I can relate to that. You just don't want to be DJ. It limits you to something, especially if you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, like, I guess, like, I was young then, so, like, when it came to the DJing, I didn't really understand much about music. I just collected music and I played music, but actual music business or the landscape of business is there was a lot more to come, and that's when the hats start now being worn. Do you know what I mean? Because you
Yes.
don't know what's out there. You know that these things are available, but are they available to you? Do you know what I mean?
I like that. Are they available to you?
Exactly, yeah. Especially with the social media age, probably like just about getting going. So you still got like MySpace, Bebo,
Yeah, because
things like High Five.
the
Just kind
time
of
we were talking about really, we called it tribal house. I'm sure we just called it tribal. You're talking
oh
to
yeah,
Sons, your
yeah,
Infinite
yeah, yeah,
Boys
yeah,
sounds. We
yeah,
just
yeah,
called it tribal at
yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah. Early Da Capo, early
Yeah, early
Cuba,
Takava.
early
Yes, we just,
punk. Yeah,
yeah, just tribal.
just tribal, like raw.
Just tribal. So
Yeah.
so like I'm just thinking about really the times that you're talking about as well. Just also seeing in my head what you're talking about
Yeah,
and
2008,
visualizing.
2009.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
visualizing exactly what you're saying. Visualizing exactly what you're saying and going leading towards the story of how you got picked up by defected to ENR for Sondela.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
exactly.
you're just leading into that right in this moment, and I'm asking myself, do you just want to go into that as
Yo,
well?
there's still, I think there's still a lot more to go before we even get into that.
Really?
There's so much to go
Flip.
because that's
Okay.
we're talking about that's now what we're in
That's like
2020.
2020. Yeah.
So yeah, so we still got
You made it so
11,
seamless. Like
11
it's like
years.
oh, like by the time 2015 hit, they were already looking at you. I don't know. You must tell me the story of how all of that happened. By the way.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that was really important in my kind of growth and understanding is actually okay, cool. Like I've done a mixtape, and I want to say this because I did three versions of Afro Power Volume 1, 2, 3, yeah, and I picked like. And this, I think this is a growth in my DJing and in my selecting and becoming a curator or a tastemaker or influencer or something like that. When I did Afro Power Volume 2, I didn't really like it because I felt like, and I think like even artists, when it comes to your sophomore, so your second kind of offering of your product, it's always harder than your first one because your first one is raw, you're just trying it, and everyone just is like, oh, rah, this is new, so this is dope. And when you come to your second one, there's pressure to put it together. So as a DJ, first of all, you need the music to be on point. And then you need to be able to put it together on point the same, if not better, because you're only as good as your last mix, as your last record, your last football match, your last offering. You're only as good as that. So when it came to putting Afro Power Volume 2, I was still in that raw stage, that excitable stage. I'm like, yeah, I'm the man. I've got this tape that no one else has got and stuff like that. And I don't think it was sounding as strong. And I think it's because the music wasn't that great. I felt like I was maybe thought I could just do it just because I'd done it the first time. So I took my time when I did number 3 because I waited for music to come and understood about, the sounds and how this fits and how that fits as a presentation of
Yeah.
music. Afro Power 1 was just, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Afro Power 2 was like, oh, let
I
me
need to
try and
follow
do.
up.
I need to follow up.
Yeah.
Number 3 was like, yeah, I'm understanding the sounds, and now this is the presentation. That's why I think it's a really good mixtape, really solid, flows beautifully. And I guess like with anyone, it's hard to follow up your rawest work. It's not easy, but just take time, and it's okay if you don't because you just learn from things as well. It's so important,
Sure.
and that's what I'm saying. Now, when I got to number 3, I'd learned from number 2, and I learned from number 1 to kind of put it together. So when it came to presenting now in the club space, I also used Afro Power 1 as a vehicle to put Sef Kombo on the map
Okay.
within London because all the students now are graduated, so there was no longer students who were kind of a bit close to my age anymore. It was a bit way younger, and the musical landscape had changed up in the north. So I started an event called Till 2 in 2009. And that was a place where we was going to play R&B and hip hop, but at midnight it was all about the house or funky house or whatever was kind of popping at the time, but dance music wise. Cool. Did 4 of them. 2 of them were cack, like no one there, and we closed down early. But number 1 and number 4 was good. Then I like said, all right, cool. 2009, yeah. So then I developed some mixtapes and tried to get myself out there, so people were used to the songs I wanted to play at the club, and they were used to like Sef Kombo as an artist, or as an actor, or
Yeah,
and
as a
stuff like that.
performer.
So then 2010, I went back into the same building where I started till 2, and I like, you know what, I went in with a plan, a defined plan of how I was going to do this. That included producing mixtapes, and then I was like, cool, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make artists, DJs from our community, so the black community in London that enjoy house music. We're gonna make them visible, and we're gonna make them people that accessible. So use social media to make people accessible. So a DJ doesn't look like nobody you can talk to. The DJ, I can talk to them, I can tweet them, I can Facebook them, and they're real people.
Yeah.
And we're gonna record DJ sets.
Yeah.
And from 2010 down to 2019, I ran a night called Till 2, which was playing Afro house music, like not solely, but like playing Black Coffee records, playing Kuloda Song records, playing the Capo records. When Terminator came out, there's by DJ Sindo, making sure we played that record. Do you know what I mean? Like, which became huge in London.
I had no idea that there was a community that you guys were building there just from African music.
Yeah, because you know what it was? It was inviting, and it was involving young professionals, people who had just come out of uni, and a space where they could enjoy house music. So you're converting them from being in their bedroom, listening to you as a DJ, or listening to Rinse FM, which was a place where a lot of like house music was listened to on a daily, Monday, maybe on a Tuesday evening and a Friday afternoon, and having a space for young people to come and express themselves. Yeah. And that's what Till 2 was all about. And it's called Till 2 because the first club we used, their license was Until 2.
Until 2.
So that's what it's called, Till 2.
Are you still running the event?
No, I retired it.
Okay, retired.
I retired it.
Why did you retire it?
Good question. I think I just wanted control over its destiny. Sometimes events can get stale.
That's
you run
true.
it for 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Do it every week, every month for 20 years. Your clientele don't change. Nothing's changing. And in London, unfortunately, we have incidents sometimes, and I was afraid that
such as,
like, you know, someone might throw a little punch or something like that. You know, a glass might be thrown. But I'm not saying
London.
I'm not saying that, like, you know, that is what would happen at my event. But you know, when your events become very popular, and sometimes your event is popular and people are coming not for the music, they're coming because there might be girls there, they might just to be seen and stuff like that. You can find yourself maybe losing a little bit of control of what direction.
Or even the identity of the show itself. Yeah, flip. I can relate.
And I love the journey that we took with Till 2, with the young prophet. People grew up with it. There's some people that I saw, even I was in Dubai, was I in Dubai last week? Yeah, Dubai last week. And there's girls that I met, and they were like, oh, I'm so pissed that there's no more Till 2. And I looked at her, I was like, I've never even seen you there. Not in a rude way, but I know that you were there, and I mean, I don't see everybody.
Of course you don't see everybody. That's what I'm thinking. You don't see everybody.
But these are people that I know, I can look at them and like, yeah, they're about 32, 33 now. So I mean, like, their childhood or their young teen, Till 2 was part of that. And that's why they're pissed that it's done. Because they're like, my youth, that's a part of my youth. Do you know what I mean? So I love what we did with that, and I just felt like, yeah, I don't think I wanted to have like us at 40 doing it. I can do specials, that's fine.
Specials, yeah.
But I wanted to just have control over it, and that's why I retired it. It was a sad moment, and you know why I knew it was like, it meant a lot to people. So it's very important when you're doing some certain stuff, what mediums you use to put a statement out there. So we held a website. So in order for me to see what the real reaction is and the real people, and see if people are really taking time to check something that's really big news, and I knew this will be big news, I tweeted the link, and I just said statement, the link. That link got clicked so many times, and I knew that this party meant a lot to so many people. People were crying, and when I saw my tweets just go, brrr, there actually a little tear, a little tear came out because I was like, wow, I did a lot.
No,
I did a
clearly.
lot. But
Clearly.
yeah, it was a place for people to hear Afro house music and stuff like that, and yeah, it was a dope moment in time. And during that time, I went to a club called Sway Bar, and I met a lady called Tanya, and Tanya introduced me to Simon Dunmore in 2011, and that's where our relationship between me and Simon Dunmore kind of grew. And Simon just watched me do what I do. And in 2015, I think we just had a little talk. That was it, really small. Then I went to visit a Defected show. Can't remember when sometimes it is outside our mind, to be honest with you. Because he was like, oh, thanks for coming. You know what? I want to book you for Croatia.
Oh, hectic.
Cool. So he booked me for Croatia.
Sure,
2017.
Simon Dunmore.
Shout
Sure,
out
Simon. Sure,
Yeah, so
Simon.
that's how it kind of started.
Yeah.
The kind of Defected situation, and the Simon wanted me to plug him into like just South African
Yeah, I
house
guess
music.
yes.
Yeah, just kind of be like a bit of a consultant, just be like, look, like 10 tunes and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I felt like when we were sitting in the office, I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. Like, I'll be like, oh, no, but this tune is banging off, you know what I mean? Like, and his reactions wasn't leveling with mine. And I thought, oh, right. But I think he was probably like, okay,
But
just processing it.
he took his time
Yeah,
though.
he took
No,
his time.
he's like
He's
they.
just seeing.
He took too much time.
He was seeing. No, but he was seeing what I was doing, because I think sometimes when you have a greater plan for somebody, sometimes, and I might be completely wrong on this, but if you react straight away, maybe it's too easy for somebody. But if you're like, right, like, yeah, I like it, but I'm not gonna show him too much too soon. I booked him for Croatia. That's cool. He's showing me some tunes from Black Motion. He did actually. He when Black Motion played for their 300th release, Party Ministry of Sound, he came to me about that. He said, "Should I book them?"
Of course.
Absolutely banging. But what I'm saying is that he was probably trying to say, okay, just because I haven't given you anything, does that mean are you gonna be deflated? Does that mean you're not gonna still work hard and continue to do your own thing?
Yeah, like my main thing also wasn't even just him working with you or you working for whatever the case may be. I'm just thinking that the energy that African and house music more especially has just been providing. I mean, we've got like some very small record labels, Vele, that have, that do release the music. But then when I'm like Defected, I mean, it was about damn time. Yeah. That's how I felt when that announcement came out. I was like, it's about damn time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know what, like, I still continue to do my work. And still kind of push my nights and still kind of push my music in my own mediums. And he just saw. And do you know why I kind of feel this way? It's because of the conversations I'm having now with him. Not about Sondela.
Not about Sondela.
Just his story of where he started.
Sure.
And how he sees house music in general.
Sure.
How he kind of just goes, he keeps on saying, I've seen your graft. I know what you're about.
Yeah.
This is why you're here. Like, trying to do your thing. This is why I'm giving you your platform to do your thing in Sondela. So that's where I say, like, back when I first was having meetings with him, and I thought, like, oh, he's not really reacting to, like, these songs. Like, he was probably, like, just seeing, trying to see him in me, or me in him, trying to, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then, we came to a conversation in 2020 while I was here. He was in France. He was like, yo, 2019 while I was here. Yeah, so he was in France, and he called me. He said, yeah, when you're back,
let's chat.
Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time now.
Because the one thing that look, I'm picking on my genes. So, I've followed a bunch of these platforms throughout my specialist radio show career. So having to think about, let me say, being in conversation with Simon Dunmore, for instance. It's kind of like, I wonder how one would act, kind of vibe for me. Because, having to follow someone's platform for a long time, you become a major fan of it. So it's like for someone to pick you up in that manner and be like, no, I've seen your work. And I think that we should do this. How was that for you?
It was dope, man. It was dope. Like I was surprised a little bit.
Were you
Uh,
surprised? I mean, let's talk about that though. Like, how many people were building a community in that area? Like how
Not
you say
many.
you were.
Yeah, not many. But some people, even when you're building, they still don't give you a chance.
Yeah,
They still
true,
don't
true.
give you a
No, true,
platform.
no, true,
It's
true,
still
true,
a lot of a DIY,
true.
DIY era. So for someone to give you a chance, you
No,
know what
true
I
story.
mean? Like, yeah. It was surprising. But it was good. It was a good surprise
It
at the same
was. I'm
time.
sure
Yeah.
it was. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. So now, what were the steps? What was the step for you after that? What were your intentions for yourself and for the position that you now held under defected with Sondela?
Yeah, I think my one of my things was just to learn from the big man.
Okay.
And I've learned so much. And one thing I've definitely learned is like it's not too late. Simon was 37 when he started Defected. I am now 37. He's done really
Do
well.
you?
He's done really well. I'm not even joking. He's done really well with that company, man, with that record label. But the point is just like his graft before that is similar to my graft, and then not and even like some of the stories telling me and where we started. I see similarities.
Okay.
I see similarities in terms of building his community. What he did is not exactly what I did, but I did it in the space that was available to me
To you,
in
yes.
2009, to where he
Yeah.
probably done it in 88
Yeah,
or
yeah,
in the
yeah.
80s. So it's not too different. The graft is the graft. It's not easy. It's just the mediums that you use might be just different, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
So, we had the conversation. The conversation was good, and
What was the conversation?
just my boy Louis is enjoying Afro house music, and he wants to do a party in Newcastle, which is in the north, and
My boy Louis, as in his son.
yeah,
Uthi
he
my
wants to do
boy
yeah,
Louis.
my boy
Ngathi,
Louis.
ngathi, my boy
Yeah, my boy.
Louis. But it
Yeah,
literally means my son.
yeah, my son. So yeah, we did the party in Newcastle. That was the first Sondela party, and then he was like, you know what, I think you should, let's do a record label, and I want you to A&R for it. I want you to bring your experience. I want you to teach Louis and stuff like that. And it was just as simple and as that. There was not like a what can I say, pressure to make it happen immediately. But he
Okay.
had seen that I'd gone to South Africa.
Yeah.
He had seen that my network was building in South Africa.
Yeah.
So like my network in South Africa has been very long standing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people here, but I only know them through internet. 2018 that changed, and I know the story is bouncing up and down, but 2018 only happened because a girl I knew we just talking, and she was like, flights on British Airways to South Africa is cheap. I said, yeah. I looked at it and I'm like, I'm booking this, man. I'm booking this, man. What? So they're like, because in between time, there'd been people like, they're sending you a message, yeah, like, oh, we'll bring you over, we'll do this, can you get over? And it's like, nah, man. I think there was just nearly moments. The
Nearly
convo starts,
moments. I
I
can
can't
understand
get the
that.
sponsors and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
at that time, I was like, I'm going, man. Let me just go, like, 2 weeks, done.
Yeah.
And Deep in the City had just started then.
Yeah, it had,
So,
yeah.
boy, like, I just decided to go perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
The people I met physically for the first time, So, going back to that, that's when, like, these conversations became easier with, like, making the record
Yes.
label, because it's like, actually, I know these people in the flesh now.
Yes.
The only people I had actually met in the flesh was, like, Nick Da Capo, Black Coffee, Gulo, Black Motion. I think those are the only people I'd actually met in the flesh. That's it. No one else. I hadn't met Euphonic because I don't think Euphonic. I know he came to London a couple of times. I hadn't met him. But Fresh, they're always doing Miami. So
Yeah.
But I hadn't met those guys. You know what I mean? So coming over was a very important thing.
It was a very, very important.
It was a moment in time.
Like, funny enough, like I think the way time works, you guys, like the way time works, I cannot believe that 2018, 2019 time was. It's now that you think about it, it's 2022. That's how many years? That's 4 or 5 years. But it doesn't feel like it. Because to me, it's like when you say the first time you came here to meet these gents, it was literally that time. And I'm thinking, flip, that's now for me. I'm like, flip, that's now. Like Zolo. To me, it just feels like it was yesterday. So for you to make that decision of action, it was pretty dope. I mean, Vanko told me something similar. He was like, this at the time, you know what? He just decided to go, you know, F it. Let me go to Europe and use my own money to go to Europe. And he was so surprised as to the response that he got from there.
Yeah, that investment in myself was like so key. So key. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't come to look for bookings.
What were you actually coming here for now that I think about? Because it's pre-conversation. So what were you coming here for?
I came because the ticket was cheap.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time, and it was impulsive. I had to come.
Love that, though.
You know what I mean? I was working on the railway at the time, so I wasn't even in the position I am in now where to leave work. So I kind of also... And we have to just go back just a tiny bit because it is a part of the growth and a part of becoming maybe a man or, you know, an adult that, you know, music doesn't always, you know, do it for you maybe financially sometimes.
Sure. No,
and
true story.
Even though I was doing a great event, I had to put music on the side a bit, you know. And I joined the underground and yeah, just to kind of get steady, you know, income. So I never actually thought that I would be sitting here talking about owning a record label, being an A&R for a record label. But yeah, like I was working in 2018, and that's why it was an important time. It was an important thing it wasn't an important thing to do in 2018.
So crucial.
But it became an important thing that I did in 2018. Because the chain of events that happened afterwards has led me to this moment to now go back into music full time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I do know that also with all the people that I picked up in terms of like music back in 2009, a lot of them are not around anymore like that. Some people have just had to work, grow their family or things like that, which is a bit of a shame because they're so talented.
Like people from where? From here?
No, from here. Who wasn't able to sustain, just like various people.
Pop, you know what? It's a true story. It's a reality.
It's not easy to just live off music.
Yeah, it's a reality.
I mean? Especially when you're young, you're trying to, you know, you think like, oh, I should be on these bookings. Oh, I should be playing international. Like
the fact is, you should be.
Yeah, you should be like, but you're young, and sometimes it's not always for you at that time.
True story.
And my time wasn't then to be like a huge DJ in the international scene. Not saying I am now, but you know, but yeah. So 2018 working, and then 2019, luckily I got into a job which helped me a little bit. Don't want to say how because you know it was their mistake, but it helped me a lot.
Okay.
Let's just say it gave me back Sef
Kombo. It did what it needed to do.
It gave me back Sef Kombo. Trust me, in tenfold. And then just here I am. I left my job and I'm an A&R, but physically meeting people across the last 3-4 years. I didn't meet a lot of people in 2019. I met some 2018. I met a lot more people in 2019 and a lot more people in 2020. So yeah, it was. It's been a bit of a journey in South Africa.
By the way, I've been wondering, Wuti, does the record label pay for that expense now, for you to come here?
I'll confirm. Have a conversation.
So tell me, like, what's the do you have frustrating moments? What's the most frustrating thing about about what you do?
Um,
I think the most I think the frustrating part is maybe some artists in European space
Okay.
thinking, and again I could be wrong, but I only base it off the opinion that what I get delivered into my inbox. But not
Okay.
so
Okay.
much
Okay.
so now, but thinking that we can put artists or vocalists from the region. So it's just not just include SA. It could be
Okay.
include Zimbabwe, could include Kenya,
Yes.
and think that because they're on the record that it's automatically hot.
Oh, I
And
see.
or it's great, or it should be signed. And I say that because I feel like there is no structure in the songwriting process or collaboration between producer and artist to bring a good song together. And that is probably a frustrating thing. So, you just send a beat to, let's say, Liz or something like that, and then just expect her to just send her vocals back, and it may sound a bit similar to not the message, but maybe some of the stuff that he's kind of sang on is maybe sound a bit too similar between like some of the European artists who are like maybe ask her to sing on songs or something like that. Not very much variations, but the guys may think that they can just like send songs and it's because it's got X person. Yeah, it's cool, it's wicked.
Okay.
No. No, it doesn't work like that. So, like, and I say that because when I heard Temba and Lizzie Mountain High,
Yes.
and I heard Lizzie
Yes.
singing a different way,
Yes.
I was like, it's not that hard. As a producer, you can you can produce a beat, but
Making a
producing
song, also a record.
is
Yeah, making
also
a
a
song.
part of it. And when you've got someone as talented as her, she also said, so I can say this because she said this on tape. I've got this tape where she would have liked to have been challenged differently in maybe the musical thing. Like,
Yes.
so instead of sending her vocals, they can come back with, maybe can you do this, or maybe we can take a bit more time. And then that leads to maybe 5 records coming out in a week
Yeah. Yeah.
because she's done this. So yeah, that's probably that was a frustrating part of the work that I was doing as a like receiving records.
Receiving
the
records.
first time, because obviously you got Defected put out that obviously they do Sondela.
Yes.
So now Defected have a core kind of base of viewership or exposure in Europe. So the first people that are really gonna see it is that people from Europe or
Yes.
from these before here. So those are going to like throw over all their demos immediately. Like more. Obviously, we get demos from SA and stuff like that. But I'm saying they're gonna
Do you get a lot of SA stuff though?
yeah, we get a lot of SA
I would
stuff.
hope so.
Yeah, we get a lot. I'm just saying, like a lot of them are going to be thrown over demos to us, a lot.
Yeah.
And then like, but how they write it or how they kind of present it, and I was like, no, man, no.
Yes, Mob. He likes to ask. He's so involved. I love it. Yes.
So now that you have a view, right, of the scene in the UK, in South Africa, and in different parts where you guys operate, right? People often, within this context, I'm talking Africa, people often see South Africa as being the most developed music industry. The place where you can actually make money as an artist, where you can actually eat as an artist. And you made a comment just now about how hard it is to eat
As a musician.
as a musician, as
music.
purely an artist, right? So comparing against, I guess, a place like the UK to South Africa, right? How do you, how do you compare those prospects for
In terms of
someone?
eating.
Yeah, in terms of eating, yeah, of course.
In terms of eating, do you eat
Yeah.
better there? Of course you do, but how? What's the comparison? And yeah.
Just from what you're seeing.
It's
Yeah.
just it's a tricky question because there's like, for example, here what I've noticed, just in general, is that you have a lot of brand activations or like sponsorship.
Yeah.
We don't get that in the UK.
Really?
Like that.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can do it, but it's like sometimes it's maybe a little bit more tricky.
Okay.
Like here it feels, I wouldn't say easier, but it feels like a little bit more accessible. It feels like there is brands willing to try and work with either promoters or artists over here to try and make, things happen. There is budget. It feels like, even if
It
it's small.
feels like there is budget,
Yeah,
but
not big ones, but
Yeah.
at least you got budget. Like here, like, I'm not even saying in the UK. I don't feel like for some artists, even if you're like a lower level artist, that you can access those type of things. You'd have to be affiliated with this person to get this or this magazine to get. It just feels a little bit like a bit more of a chore in the process.
so you reckon there's more opportunities to eat as a musician here than it is in the UK?
No, in different ways.
Okay.
In different ways. Like for example, here you got loads of radio stations.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's electronic dance music. If you're the African dance music, very limited, so limited. So if we're talking about like diversifying your kind of revenue streams of music,
Yeah.
you probably got a little bit more going on
Okay.
here than you have as an African than over there. If you're West African, you do Afro beats. Now that has kind of changed. For example, you have a Afrobeat chart that goes on Sundays. For example, that's taken a long time to come through, but it's there. You have daytime radio that play your song. So you got opportunities. I mean, I managed to get FKA Mash Bumblebee with Seal onto a playlist in the UK. That was not a fight, but like that just got one opportunity. Like here it'll be playing like on how many other stations.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like and it's not in local tongue, it's in English. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
I see
So
what
there
you
is
mean.
this. I mean, yeah, it's. How can I say like it's not. There is differences, and can you eat over there more? Probably yes, but here there is a few opportunities as well that I've seen.
Yeah. On that note, actually, you know what I'm thinking? There's this there's this culture of paying people with exposure here in South Africa. Is that a thing there back then?
Paying people.
Yes, with exposure, you don't pay them with money for their services, but you pay them with exposure.
So for example,
there
I have instead of let's say let's say there's a platform. Let's take Ultra Music Festival. Ultra Music Festival doesn't pay you, but they say we have tons of followers, tons of people that will know your name just by you performing on one of our stages.
Sure. Okay, so cool. We could take that example, and there are gigs in the UK that do the same thing. So maybe some of the BBC gigs they do the same thing, like Glastonbury, for example. They may do the same thing, not for like headliners.
Not for like headliners,
but,
which
like,
is
some
weird to me.
But what I would say is when that opportunity comes, all right, cool. That's when you need to invest in yourself. So I had a conversation with Morda and Vanco in Dubai, and we were talking about certain gigs. So let's take the money out of it, yeah. Because the money comes and money goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually matter how much money that you make out of it, because if your performance is shit, it's shit. Or if your performance doesn't resonate with people, then all you have left is the money. So you get performance in Ultra. Ultra doesn't pay you anything.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm playing on X stage. What do you do? What would you do next? You just play the gig? And just hope that Ultra's followers are going to follow you? No. You spend how much? 10k rands, 8k rands. Get yourself someone to video you from when you wake up and you brush your teeth to when you smash that rave. Done. That's when the followers are gonna come.
I agree with that. But it's also subjective.
It's subjective, but if you invest in yourself, I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah.
Of what I did.
Yeah.
And Simon knows this is all good. So 2017, I did Defected Croatia. Yeah?
Yes.
I was supposed to play on a Monday between 2 and 4. Yeah, that got moved on the day to 12 to 2. Nobody was there.
Ooh, yeah.
Reason being was because obviously the Thursday had happened, Friday had happened, Saturday had happened. Sunday it happened, and we got an after party at Barbarella's. I finished at 7, so everyone was dead to the world. Yeah, there was a few people there just sunbathing and that. So I'm playing on the beach stage. Can't really see me because it's kind of a bit
It's
high.
a big high.
Dead. But Simon Dummer was there. He was there in the corner. You know, he was there, and I played a record from forgot what they are called. I played the record. They actually came over. I said, "What's this record?" And imagine he put it in the radio show, Defected radio show, the next thing. So you never know who's listening anyway. The after movie came out of Defected Croatia. This after movie was 20 minutes long. Was Sef Kombo in it for 1 point?
Was Sef Kombo in it for 1 point?
Sef Kombo was not in it.
Yeah.
And it's 20 minutes.
It's 20
Wait,
minutes.
1
It's enough
second.
time.
Just had my boat, just do one little flick. And the thing is, the cameraman came. The cameraman was there.
Oh, okay, yeah,
so
yeah,
there
yeah,
is
yeah,
a-
yeah.
there
There's
is footage, but the footage wasn't new. It's cool. I said, nah. Vex. Okay, 20, I got booked the next year. Cool. Nah. So obviously I'm vexed inside, but I'm like, long game, innit? But what I did in 2019, I went to the airport and like, no, I had a GoPro, so I filmed myself, innit? So I had a bit of filming.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what, this GoPro is dead, you know, like I can't really deal with this. Or next time I went into a version of eBay and I bought myself a camera and I came over in 2019. No, 2018, 2018. And I planted my camera there and I filmed myself. Yeah?
Yeah.
And Black Motion came and there's a funny video of me and Maud. I was doing some tricks and Maud was looking and he smiled and I finished the trick. So funny. I might show it to you if I can find it. Anyway, yeah, I like used that footage. Even though I couldn't like put the whole set together, I used a little bit of footage and promoted it myself on the YouTube. Yeah? So I had some asset of myself. I've invested in myself. I've paid £300 for a camera. I've paid £100 for like a lens just to make it look sharp.
Sure.
I've done my research. I'm like, all right, cool. I want it to look sharp. After movie comes out. Is Sef Kombo in the after movie? No, he's not in the after movie. I am fuming that. I've come 2 years in a row. 2019. 2019. I'm so dead. 2019, I'm like, nah, you see this, I am going ham. This time.
Yeah.
I went and got Sony cameras.
Yeah.
I had 3 GoPros. I borrowed 1 GoPro. I had my own 2 GoPros. I had 2 Sony cameras. I set the whole thing up on that stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine now you have consoles where you can kind of flick, like, you know, between cameras and stuff like that. Imagine I had 5 cameras, one there. So obviously I have to take each recording, sync them, and I don't even have the Logic, not Logic,
Premiere Pro for video.
not the Premiere Pro, the Apple
The
version.
Apple one. What's Final Cut?
I don't even have Final Cut. I have iMovie, bro. iMovie. Do you know how long it took me to put up that 1 hour set? Long,
We can
bro.
imagine.
Time. What I'm saying is I invested in myself, and that year, Defected only recorded audio for 2019 Croatia for all the acts that they had put on. So if you put 2019 Croatia, the only video is me. Yeah? So you can actually see me performing. I actually opened up the festival, which I was like fuming at. Because I thought, well, I've got an early set. But it was actually quite good. So like, yeah, cool. It actually was really cool. But I filmed it. I invested in myself. And it's there. And no one can take that away from me. Was I in the after movie? Yes, I was.
Yes, you were. This time.
I was in it. I was. But the point is, even if you're not getting paid, invest in something to have
seize
as
the
your
opportunity.
own. Because like even if you get paid money, you might not have it as you might not be in the after movie. People might forget that you was actually there. But imagine if you have a reel saying, "Right, I was there at Ultra. I did my thing. I smashed the rave, or whatever. Or I set up cameras and I did my own production and stuff like that. Or I got my own technician. I got my own pyro. I did this." Like those things are priceless.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to look at this thing,
Yeah.
right? Because there's different ways to look at this thing because Okay, I'll make an example of how I run my shows.
Yeah.
I don't run a big show, of course. I don't have a lot of budget, and I make it a personal effort to have to feature someone that no one knows, someone that I've heard, probably someone that's coming up,
Yeah.
quote unquote, coming up. Not a lot of followers, but what I make sure is to, hey, offer you a bit of cash, because I understand the expenses that it takes for you to get to the gig, for you to try and put together someone, for instance, going to come and take some photos for you, just like a basic thing. So
100%.
yeah, so that's another conversation on another side, that for me to try and realize this opportunity, I need a bit of fund for it. Do you get me? Especially if I'm only eating through the music. And I really think that the conversation of it's hard to eat through the music is because society, we make it hard to eat through music. Living in South Africa, I know that we make it hard to live live through music, because the value system is so weird. So that's a basic example from my side of, I don't care who you are, how many followers you have. And the thing about me is, I won't book you if I have not listened to you play. I won't
I'm
let you
the same.
feature at
I
my
hate going
shows.
blind.
Yeah, I won't let you feature at my shows if I've never listened to you play. And for me to be even interested in featuring you, that means I've heard something from you, and that means you're at least worth me covering the expenses for you to get to my show.
For sure.
Or even saying, hey, this is how much I can afford to say thank you. Do you get me?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's the kind of the other side of having to look
Okay,
at the
yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Do you get me? That's the other side.
Yeah.
Because there are major shows that you're gonna get booked at, and people are gonna not wanna pay you. Let me say your ask. Or even let's even say you're not even at the point of asking for a fee. You're at the point of saying, oh, flip, this isn't a stage, it's a platform, it's an opportunity for me, maybe. So it's not like they don't have the funds. Do you get me? It's just for me. I to this point right now in my life believe that it's an authoritative power play.
100%. No, I'm 100%. I'm not even gonna disagree with that. I think it's a sad thing that they try to leverage exposure for you.
Yeah.
But if you are accepting,
If
you are accepting of the booking, then know that this is what you have to do next. Because you can't go and
100%.
do the booking and leave, and then like someone will be like, oh, but what you get out of it? You can say with your chest, oh, I didn't get no money, but I got a cameraman to do a reel for me.
Yeah.
Say it with your chest, because
Yeah.
imagine if you say, oh, I didn't get paid. You what? Okay.
And you
so
sad. That makes you sad, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, but what did you do? Like, oh, well, I didn't do anything else. And like, well, you didn't use the opportunity correctly. You did an opportunity. You're already not getting paid. You have got no assets. You're nothing.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's like that when I so in 2017 when I brought my night back, because we had little gaps because clubs were really hard to get hold of, and in 2017 I came with a very clear plan. I'm like, I'm going to invest in a cameraman. I'm going to invest in a cameraman that gets it, and also the journey that we're going to take.
100%.
Yeah, that person films some dope after movies for me. When I let off one after movie with Inenekazi on it, it shook everything. Yeah, I was like, people were like, whoa, this night looks crazy.
Sure.
Even though it's been established already for like 7 years, people were like, nah. The next one came, boom, like, nah. People were like, nah, I need to be at the event. 2019, I launched my ticket. I sold out 750 tickets in 17 minutes. At the higher price point than it was ever.
Yeah.
So it crashed Resident Advisor, almost. Lucky they got good servers. Crashed it. Like, people were like fumbling. Like, I remember I was on the train. I let it go. I let the tickets off at 6 o'clock. Obviously told people 6 o'clock. I put my phone in my pocket. I was on the overground train. I think I was going to Hackney or Dalston. I picked up my phone at 6:01. And the messages was just... I'm not talking about message of people buying. I'm talking about people messaging me like, I can't get a ticket.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that only happened not because the night was good, because it was good. It's because I was able to consistently show what people are missing out on.
Yeah.
So you got to show people what promoters, what they're missing out on. I was like, Ultra, smashed it.
I was at Ultras, killed it. I was at
Book
Ultras.
me now. I can't tell you I played at Ultra. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
because
did.
there's no
Sounds
proof.
cool. Some promoters might go, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Let's book you. But if you're like, oh yeah, I played at Ultra, and they say, oh wow, that's looking all right.
And I mean, look, a word does, I get that from Jump. I mean, I've been working with Mob for a long time, because when people see you, that's kind of a value thing for you, because it's great. You can say, yeah, well, I was at Ultra, yeah, great, cool. But the one thing I realized in South Africa is that this this speaks more than anything, like, or even just for you to say I was gigging at Ultra, I am gigging at Ultra, I have a show at Ultra. Yeah, the support that they'll give you, you'll get 10 million retweets. You'll get 10 million retweets. They don't even like, let me say, they probably have never, let me say, they don't know you or don't know where you play, but the word of it, of, hey, yo, I'm playing this show, which is it's a lot, it's a lot of weight, even though it's another conversation for another day to debate as to what kind of weight that it holds, but it's definitely some weight. It's some weight. It's some weight. Listen, I want to go back to you pulling up now to South Africa.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to go back to you pulling up to South Africa now, and you decided
2022?
not
No.
2022, 2018.
Okay, 2018.
2018, you pulling up to South Africa. What were the initial reactions from your side as to the culture, the music culture that you were experiencing? What parties were you going to actually? Deep in the City?
Yeah, so the first party I went to was Deep in the City. Yeah,
I think
so
at the time, Mlu and Tulo were also hosting Spiritual at that time.
No.
They haven't yet. It was 2019.
No. Yeah, I think 2019.
Yeah, I think it was
2020 or 2020. 2019 maybe.
When was lockdown? 2020.
2020.
So it was 2019 when they started Spiritual, I think.
So yeah, 2019, the first party I went to was Deep in the City. Walked through the door. First person I saw was Punk. Yeah, that was the first time we met in the flesh, and I'd been playing Punk's music for
Love Punk.
a long time. And it's like, rah, you're real. You're actually real.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. We probably saw me, goes, rah, Sef, like, you're real as well. Like, yeah.
So how did you receive the culture back then? Because I want to go back into what we said we'd go back to. Guys, this conversation is long actually, and I don't mind that.
No,
But
I don't mind it at all. It's great.
Yeah, I want to go back to now how you observed the genre division conversation, because how back when you came here, what did you observe when you came here?
Right, so obviously the Afro tech and was popping off, was like, but then I realized that it was probably more maybe in a smaller circle than I actually thought it was. So I thought, so you see all these tunes like in videos, and it's like crazy, looking crazy. But,
The video and photo, by the way, going back to that point.
Yeah, but over time I've realized maybe it's a little bit smaller than what it's actually perceived to be. And I've had various conversations about this as well, and that's kind of like the general feeling. But Deep House was
Always
banging off,
kicking. It's always kicking.
And then tempo. Mm. I always knew that people played music slow, but I thought they were just being a bit obtuse. Like when I was listening to on mixtape, so like maybe something like Cat La Cat was played. Like some slow tempo. Even Mushroom Boys used to play some tunes at some slow tempo. I was like, right, like it's cool, but I thought they're just trying to be like different.
They're trying to be different, yeah.
Came here and I realized like, okay, like this is a thing, innit? So I play. So then after Deep in the City, Deep in the City weren't really playing like a slow tempo. They were playing like a.
They weren't playing slow tempo.
They weren't playing a fast tempo. They were just playing like a normal tempo. 18, 19. So I'm like, alright, cool. So I'm like, alright, this is a thing, because I'm like about 123 at this time.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, I told Jackie Queens, I think the first person I told, because we were talking that I'm coming SA, and that's when she put me in touch with Travers. Travers does this Friday Sundowner and Southern Sun. Again, investing in yourself. I brought my cameras, and it's on YouTube. Yeah, like What a moment. That was what a moment. So anyway, I came and I played and I was like, alright, cool. I need to play like chill tempo, like 119.
Yeah.
Play same set 119. So I was like, cool. Played that set and I'm like, yeah, this is like you have to kind of take your time and stuff like that. And not like I wasn't taking my time in the UK or rushing, but like adapting, as you said earlier in the conversation. So I adapted. I'm absolutely amazing set. It's on YouTube, and there was an absolute amazing moment with the thunderstorm in the background. Crazy moment, so amazing. But again, using my assets to build an asset that I can put that can live forever on YouTube. But yeah, it was just like it was about the tempo really, and then deep house. Yeah, I realized that deep house is really a thing here.
It's
like,
a
proper
big thing. Yeah,
like
it's a
big
proper big thing.
thing. Yeah, and then because that was Friday, and then I went to Mojakaf.
Flip!
I went to Mojakaf. Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't heard the term Moja Cafe in a while.
I went Mojakaf.
Okay.
So I went there, I played with Dazzy Funk. We did a back-to-back.
Okay. Oh, no, on what day?
On a Monday.
On a Monday. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, makes
Monday,
sense. Okay,
Monday.
makes sense.
Playing there, and I'm like, yeah, I know what tempo I need to play at. It's cool. We're in Soweto, Orlando, East Orlando, I think, is it? Or something like that.
Yeah, Moja Cafe is I think
East
it's in.
Orlando.
Why am I losing? It's in Soweto.
Soweto, but
Is
East Orlando, the East Orlando part of Soweto.
The
yeah.
who?
East Orlando.
Oh, East Orlando. Okay.
Yeah.
Being technical, are we?
Yeah, you know, I know where I'm going, you know, these guys. So I'm playing now, because we're going to get into what then things really, really change. So I'm playing like, and it's cool, and I forget, it's lounging. Everyone is just doing smoking shisha. Everyone's just having food, drinks. It's calm, it's nice. I'm playing. I'm like, cool. No one knows who I am, and that's not the point. We're just playing. Again, I recorded us, so I've got an asset of us recording.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
cool,
okay,
it's
cool.
I really enjoyed it. It was really nice. Next DJ comes on, playing hip hop and stuff. And I was like, right, they like hip hop here. Like, I know it wasn't like the SA hip hop, which I knew was kind of popping off, with your Caspers and KO and Nasty C, and it was like the US hip hop. So I was like, right, they're actually like into that hard. I'm like, all right, that's good, cool. Everyone's still chilling, like, you know, cool. Next DJ come on, and I swear it was this guy, but someone said it wasn't. But I'm still convinced to this day it was this guy. No beats, just percussion. And the girls we were with, so Dazzy, his sister, and her friends, they just reacted quick, and I was like, wow, what is this? And I kind of didn't know. I did know what it was, but I didn't know what it was because I wasn't playing those particular songs on my radio show. I was playing like a variation of it. Then the beat, then a little kind of, it's progressive. Then all I hear is a log. I'm a piano. The girls are now dancing. I'm like, yo. They're reacting. Everyone's reacting. I'm thinking, damn, this is mad. I felt a different vibe when my piano came on. I swear Cabs of the Small was the guy that was playing, but someone said it wasn't, but I thought it was him. Then Mshove came on. And
those are the times of Mshove, actually.
Mad. It went mad, and the girls were doing the synchronized dance. I was like, bro, this is crazy. And that's when I was like, nah, I'm a piano thing. I was like listening to a little bit, but more like MFR songs.
Yeah, I actually like their piano as well.
Calvin Fallow.
Yeah, Calvin Fallow. Those are the people. Those are actually the
like
the starters, the pioneers per se. Yeah.
From the House Africa of tapes that I was listening to a couple, but we had more like piano riffs and stuff like that. And anyway, but there was this new kind of thing. So then I went back to my hotel and I listened to like the Avenue from Cabs of the Small, his mixtapes, and how they mix Curing the Cause. But yo, like that's when like things changed a lot, like in terms of like understanding the musical space in South Africa. Like they really, or you really love, and you should, because we got it in the UK where we really love grime, really love jungle, and UK garage. You when it comes to the music that you've created from your own backs, it's next things.
Yeah,
it's
true.
next level. So deep house is cool because deep house is a variation
Yeah.
of experiences and feelings and thoughts and your take on it. But my piano is like, we made this shit.
Yeah.
The same as Kwaito in it.
And yeah. Wait, that time I think Gqom was phasing out. Also, did you hear some? Did you hear a bit of Gqom?
I didn't.
Yeah, I should take you to a Gqom party.
I've been to one.
Oh,
Yours
okay.
quick.
It's very quick. It's amazing.
But like when I went back to the UK, I said, guys, no, I tweeted her. I said, guys, I'm telling you, this music is gonna blow and blow hard in the UK. I promise you. No doubt. I have no doubt about it. Because when you involve females in your
Yes.
music, or when females are invited, oh yeah. So let me, even before I continue that point, I did notice here there was too many guys at events.
Which events were these? Are deep house events? Yes, definitely.
Deep house event, just events
And house
in
events,
general.
actually, there are a lot of men. You're right. Yeah.
There is a lot of guys.
There's actually a lot of men.
However, in a sense, like, it was cool because if you have a lot of guys in an event in London, that's a big problem. You know something's gonna pop off. You know something is someone's gonna,
yeah, 'cause men are-
some shit is gonna happen.
Because men are unfortunately barbaric. I'm sorry to say that.
I never said it. However, like, just a kind of, just before just because I just thought, but with the men here, from what I noticed, it was cool
It was
because
very
it's just
chill.
like, actually, I'm able to play music which, you know, like, I've been digging for so long for my music, my house music and stuff like that. I'm in a space where this music is being appreciated. So actually,
100%.
because like there's loads of men in front of you, you're not thinking like, oh right, like it's a sausage fest, it's like dead. You're like, right, I'm playing music and I'm entertaining people, and people actually
They
also
love
people
it.
actually appreciating the music they're playing. They're coming
They
in and it's
love
like, yo
it.
man, you're dope. I love what you do, and they appreciate it. So that is so cool. I love that. But when the women started getting involved,
When the women start,
that's when I knew I could go back to England and say, this music is now going to turn over in the UK because I know that girls are gonna like this.
but the funny thing is that on that chat is that, to be honest, that's a fact. The women are driving the sound because the if a woman in a club, we know that if the woman is dancing, I generally say, if I'm at a commercial club, I play for the women. So if they're singing along and they're dancing, they're having a good time, everybody else is gonna follow suit. Let's just be honest.
I mean, when at the Till 2 events I was doing, there was a lot of girls there. It was good. I didn't really solely aim at women, but, you know, girls were invited
girls
to
are
enjoy
great.
it.
Yeah, girls want to have a good time. Yes, Mom.
So my question was going to be about listening to you, right? One of the things I've always known sort of becomes more tangible, and is that house music from South Africa has had legs outside of South Africa
Yes.
for a while, particularly places like the UK.
Yes.
Right. I know a couple of DJs that are big on it, like I think Mixolis and, you know,
Shout out Mixolis, man.
yeah, some of those guys that have been pushing, you know, the African house sound, you know, a lot, places like the UK. My question is about, because earlier on you mentioned something about, you know, the fact that it's easier to get, let's say, your Afro pop, Afro beats type of song onto some of the international playlists and all of that. Have the South Africans, I know with the Amapiano wave, it's been way better, but have the South Africans artists have they capitalized on that international attention enough? Because you've got this fan base, right, that's overseas, but have the South African artists, performers, DJs, producers been actually engaging? Because look at the Nigerians, for example, right? They see an audience and they're there.
They're gone.
They're gone, they are there, they make sure that they're there to service that market, and they will make sure that their presence is felt. The moment they see that there's an inkling of, okay, we're feeling the Afro vibe, suddenly you start, you know, seeing them going there. Has the same happened with the South Africans? Because basically the question is about, have South African artists really, you know, engaged with the international market the way that they could?
I can
It's an
comment on
opportunity.
that for free.
I think it's got better.
Okay.
It's got.
100%.
Did you say it's gone better?
It's got a lot better.
I think it has gotten better.
It has got a lot better. So this is what I felt. So here, especially with genres which are popping, so my piano, for example, if you it feels to me like if you come to the UK, for example, which is already an arduous process with the visa. It's already long process. It's already expensive process.
That was the comment I was going to make, but anyway, yeah.
It's a long process, and then the fees are not really representative of maybe how you feel as an artist. However, when you play the long game, you will get there. 100% you will get there. So you take a fee, you're like, oh, that fee, bruv. If I go to Soweto, if I go and play in Pretoria, I'll go to PE, and I play a gig in Cape Town, I'll make probably like triple, quadruple, 5 times, 6 times, and I haven't even left my bed. Do you know what I mean? That is because it's also, from what I see as Africans, a lot of us have not come from very much, yeah. So to be able to sustain money has not been an easy task for a lot of us, you see. So then when you have an opportunity to make a lot of money, but then you're like, all right, if I go over there and I'm making like so much less, why would I do that? Do you know what I mean? Why? So that's what has come in previous years. But now it's different because I think people have seen that there's the communities over there. So the Amapiano community is way more visible and I wouldn't say necessarily stronger than the Afro tech community or Afro house type dance community, but I'd say it's more visible.
It's very visible.
Very visible.
Very visible.
So therefore you're like, okay, if I'm getting booked in UK, it looks like there's gonna be people there, and they're gonna be vibing, and you know what I mean. It looks cool over there, and it looks like there's a lot more interest over there. Like I can do a show in London and Manchester that weekend instead of just London. You see me? So like those opportunities for the Mapiano DJs have come in abundance, like, and there's a lot more people that are probably like collaborating in that sense because they're just loving the genre. So with that Afro house, they're loving the Afro house, but they're not loving it like I'm a piano.
I mean, listen. I mean, look. I mean, it's Mapiano was the new thing. Let me put it like that. We all love a new thing. You get me? And Afro house has been. We've been saying Afro house, for instance, but I just get the subdivisions of the Afro houseness of it is like something that you kind of need to kind of fight for a position or for people to get the familiarity.
Yeah, of course.
But like, I mean, it's the new thing, it's the loud thing. It was the new thing, it's the loud thing. So you don't want to miss out on the new and the loud.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I see it personally.
It's just a little bit more fun, I guess.
Like, exactly, it's fun. It's new, it's fun, it's loud.
Our thing is not. It's fun. But your thing is fun.
to South Africans, it's fun, I guess.
Yeah. In the UK, people are just like, they're onto it.
Do you know? I actually had a theory about that. I was like, my understanding of a lot of UK sounds, the tempo is. Like you said, when you came here, you were like, the tempo, you have a very slower tempo. So my thing was that how I remember when also piano started to pop, I was like, are they going to be able to receive it as well because it's such a slow tempo? Because I'd assume that because of the tempo, it might be received much slower in places like that, for instance, places where they play high, like very high tempo, faster tempo areas.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. So there was this issue which I felt was going to happen and did happen.
Yeah.
Where you've got separate communities. So you got the community I kind of come from, which is quite heavily based in more Caribbean culture. So from Brixton is a lot of Caribbean there, but more Caribbean culture. So we have a thing where Ours is about something called like either wheel up or forward. So a wheel up and a forward means that basically you play a song which makes the crowd go wild, and you wheel the song. You start to get if it sounds nice, you play it twice.
Yeah.
So
We don't have much of that culture here.
no, so that is the culture of kind of comes from grime. It comes from garage. So an MC will come on and spit a hot bar, and then we'll like wheel the tune and stuff like that. So that comes from dub culture. Does like
Yeah.
so Jamaica like kind of Caribbean culture, clash culture is basically to get the biggest forward. That means that when you come on the mic, or when you play a song, or you play like a dub plate, which is like special cut vinyl of maybe a rhythm, and you get the actual artist to vocal the tune differently out of the actual original
Yeah.
record. So say like we're having a clash, so I'll be like, it will just have normal lyrics, but then I get the same artist and I'll pay them to cut a dub to then cuss you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's clash code. That's me clashing. That's
Okay.
clashing. So it's a dub plate. So basically, if the cuss is that good enough, you're supposed to will the song because everyone goes no, put the lights up and stuff like that. So that kind of culture basically is about you smashing the event, but not smashing the event without getting the song pulled up and started again. Right? Cool. So that side of the house music scene would naturally play, say, songs at the tempo that the crowd is used to. So my piano at 113 goes now up to 125. Yeah. So I knew that this was happening because my piano for me is it speaks to London. It speaks to Londoners, so not the African, not the southern hemisphere people that live in UK. I'm talking about Londoners, so the ones that circumvent my kind of circle, because it's a mix of soulful. So we've got the soulful element with singing, and maybe a bit of the piano. We got the grime element, which is the bass line, so the log drum. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then the kind of tribal element. Okay, cool. So you got that. So that's why it speaks to us quite well. So when the bass line drops, everyone's just going wild and you're just spinning it back. So obviously to make it palatable to our audience, we've got to speed it up.
Yeah.
So I knew because that's just our nature of just London being London. That's what we're gonna do. So DJs were doing that, and I was just like, and the reason why it was upsetting me is because we've been here before, and I'm like, guys, like, we've got to slow it down because you're butchering people's art. Like, okay, you did it in the 90s, you did it in the noughties, you did it into now in 2020. It's time to just like reduce it. You don't have to do 113 BPM.
Yeah.
But just something that's palatable, something that's not
Not
stretching
such a
it.
huge jump, bro.
But yo, they were doing it, and obviously, and because obviously, like I said, the objective of a DJ is still to make a party, and still to make a vibe.
100%.
But like also the objective of a DJ is to kind of it's almost sometimes it's a clash. I will play, and then you play, and you're supposed to shell it, as we call it, shell, which means like kill it more than me. That means that every tune that you play needs to be like, and we go again, and stuff like that. So that's why it was played. But now, the DJs have like been like, yeah, you know what? We need to reduce it, and they've gone down to 117, and it's sounding much better.
I'm sure it is. From freaking 125. Damn. No.
It was harsh, man. But so you got that side of things, which is obviously this is an adaptation and a respect, and because people were getting at them. They were like, "Why are you butchering our music? You know, we've worked hard to get it to this level.
Yeah, no,
and then
true.
now you're just doing this because you're just doing the typical UK stuff where you just kind of start to try and own it, and now you want to call it UK AMA and AMA, and I'm not
Appropriation at
like
its
AMA
best,
just
by the
means
way.
duh. Like, so
Yeah,
it don't
means
even make sense.
AMA,
It just doesn't even make
It doesn't make sense.
make sense in the sentence.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at
I know my
you.
things
No,
get
look
me.
at you.
But don't get me wrong. Like when in my radio show, I'd play a normal tempo in an
The
event.
club setting.
There was times when I'd play it a little bit quicker, but I didn't feel so comfortable doing it. But like I knew where I was, and I just said, okay, cool. I just have to adapt a little bit.
100%.
And but I wouldn't play like a full 1 hour set of amapiano.
Yeah.
Like I might start with maybe like a couple Mdu and AKTRP records. I'll play a little bit quick, and I'm just like, yeah, this is probably like where I just need to edge it down just a little bit. I'm not feeling too comfortable, but I just didn't want my people to present that. I didn't want my section, so the guys to present the music to their our people in that tempo as the norm.
As a norm,
I want it because you're gonna be like, oh right, like Shazam it.
It's not
coming
gonna
up.
pick it up.
Or if it picks it up, they go, yeah, I'm gonna go Spotify. That tune's
And then
hard.
when they hear it back,
and they're like, rah, this tune's mad slow. So I think we went through a transition, and it was probably a necessary evil that we did play at a faster speed to realize that actually, the ears don't need to hear things at that speed. Like it doesn't need to happen. So it's nice to see that people have actually taken things down to a 120 or 180, and then whilst it's a little bit quick, it's like understanding that we just need to come down a bit. Cool.
I mean it. I hear what you're saying, but I mean it.
Cool.
It depends.
But it's at the end of the day, this is UK culture, so we have to kind of still accept that. You go to. It's the same thing as like coming here and hearing a 125 record at 114. You think, right? Why are you
Flip? That's true. Same kind of thing. Flip. That's true. No, that's true. It's a shock. It's a big shock. Even for me, it's a big shock. Like even though I understand exactly what you're talking about,
the studio apartment. When I went to Mojo, the studio apartment tune, the man was playing at 112.
Yeah, boy, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's just actually on that note, there are some songs that you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be stretching the tempo for that far, or you shouldn't even be compressing the tempo that far. There are just some songs that you shouldn't be doing that for, like honestly. But some songs it sits well on. Some songs it does so well. But there are some songs where you're just like, bro, no. But you put the reverse on me, and I understood exactly what you were saying. I got exactly what you were saying.
And then you've got that southern hemisphere side, and we're just going back to kind of like that kind of visibility, and because that community built up its own thing, because they're like, all right, you guys, you do that. You do your 21-25. Over here, we're going to do it how it's supposed to be done. And they didn't, I don't even think they wanted to even bother to pick a fight about it.
Yeah.
And tell them, well, it's like, all right, cool. If you're enjoying your parties and you want to play in this, I'm not going to attend those parties.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We've got our own parties, and those parties are like, there's so many of them. So let's just say if there wasn't the accessibility of some maybe venues or parties, or there was nowhere to go and kind of consume this music, then more than likely there would be a fight between like these because they'll be like, bruv, like, why are you paying it that fast? We got nowhere to go. We want to hear it properly. But because they was able to build their own community and play at a tempo 115 or 113 or 112, and there was loads of it every single weekend, boom, 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 people like building their own profiles and stuff like that, then it became accessible and visible to then the artists over here. And that's why last year all of them started coming over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
there was many shows, by the way.
Many shows. So many shows. So like I think that's probably been the main difference in terms of you're talking about like honing into a fan base, is seeing that successful. And if you, I get your point about the West Africans and them like going, oh rah, but that has also been seen to be accessible to them as well. So over a period of time, so someone like Wizkid has relationships with certain promoters over there. He'll come over, Davido will come over, and they'll come and they would see maybe Afrobeats party on a Sunday, and they're thinking, right, this thing is building, my songs are doing well, this person's song is doing all right, it's like blowing up the raves, and it's only 300 people in there, pop bottle service, 400 people over there. And over time, as the music's been consumed, people from radio now, I'm like, yeah, now these songs need to be on the radio for example. Then you get the situation where now Wizkid sells out the O2, Davido sells out the O2, but it's a steady process and a steady building, and there's a lot more Nigerians and Ghanaians in the UK
Yes.
than Southern Hemisphere, and
Yes.
they also, I'll tell you another thing, they're in clusters, so they're in certain places in London, so they're not as spread out as Southern Hemisphere people. So Southern Hemisphere people, there'll be some people in Milton Keynes, some people in Southampton, so like it's very patchy. But with Nigeria, there's lots in Manchester, there's lots in London, but not only in the cities, but in the pockets of Peckham would be a lot of Nigerians. Tottenham, a lot of Ghanaians.
That is actually an interesting one because one of the because what do you call this? Nigerian music has always benefited from the population factor.
Yes, I think I would
They
assume it does.
And the what do you call this?
They
the
are
diaspora,
diaspora, yeah.
you know, a factor to Nigerian music because they help to evangelize for it. What is interesting about what you're saying, and I've heard some of my friends say that live in that part of the world, is the fact that your amapianos, your house music, it's not seen as South African per se. You have the community of Southern African people taking ownership of that sound.
100.
You know, when you are, you know, an overseas, you know, type of region. So there is that banding together, at least that does happen to say, oh, okay, cool, I'm from Zambia, from Zimbabwe, but, you know, those are our people, our neighbors, you know, so to say. So
Yes.
we're gonna go and support. But the sound is making, I was telling Sai that I was in Dubai in March, and I went to 2 house parties, one after the other. One was an amapiano party. These guys took over the entire hotel, and it felt like I was in Santon, right? Because that's just how many people came to this event, right? And then the next day there was a deep house event, much smaller, but still, you know, seeing, you know, that progression in terms of the sound.
I mean, it's I think it's amazing too. I just sometimes wish that we ourselves as South Africans could see the level and the value the progression of our own sound. Because what I found that is we don't really co-sign something until someone else co-signs it on our behalf. Then it's like, oh, flip. Now we need to hype up. I'm always like, okay, guys, cool. But
Yeah.
that's the energy I've felt.
I think on this, with Amapiano, I think on this occasion it feels like we've co-signed ourselves.
It's better, ne?
Yeah, I think there's some people that have like, you know, put stuff out there, like on socials, maybe that they've been playing a song like, you know, Fat Joe doing the fellow LOTv track, was it 66? He was bopping to it. But I don't think, and I think people were like, "Oh wow, like that's great." But I don't think that was like the cosign to take the music up another level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think maybe Afro Tech, Afro House probably may need that. But I think Amapiano, I think we're just servicing. They're just servicing their own thing. I mean, TikTok is just doing craziness.
Bro.
But I think it's just like, you know, here, and this is what I've observed, and I didn't know this. I used to wonder why South Africans, or maybe Africans in general, but specifically South Africans, could dance so well, or they have a particular way of moving, or they just kind of are in sync with each other. I just realized that dance and dance crews is a thing here in school.
Yeah.
So like I've heard like various artists say, yeah, it was like Black Motion told me they were like dancers. I think Natty's Black Coffee said that he was in a dance crew as well. So I'm like, oh, this now makes sense to why people are doing these type of moves and to my piano. It's because like it's like dance is ingrained.
Yeah,
into,
we're a dancing nation.
Yeah, so then it goes back to even UK. It goes back to UK and MC culture.
Yeah.
MC culture is about everyone in the playground and someone's in the middle spitting bars. It's the same with rap. So every kind of country or culture that's maybe really at music is a really strong thing. Have their different.
It has this thing.
Has this own thing. Here is dance. Because you're not going to get the same type of dance music in the UK on TikTok. No one's going to be doing those type of or the way they move. You have a way of moving as a standard.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of comments that like that the house music community here has been making, especially when it comes to Afro music and Afro take music right now. And I always am like, guys, to be honest with you, that community needs a bit of dance factor right now, amongst other things. But I mean, look, it feels like there's a feud that's happening, and just like people are playing their own game, whatever the case is, but they're playing it separately. And I'm always like, do you see that the very factor of dance, deep house music, for instance, a lot of people think that, oh, deep house music is dead. Deep house music never dies in South Africa. But the funny thing is that a lot of people don't know how to dance to certain music, so that decommercializes them, or rather it doesn't give it the commercial spot just because like they don't know how to dance to it. And that happens a lot in South Africa. And it's one of the things that I'm also like, because I'm an Afro house girl, and I'm a dancer as well, so it's always like, I have that factor, and a lot of people we need to consider putting that factor in, especially if we want to move this movement forward, because people are saying it's a also this thing of also saying things are movement, it kind of it exclusivizes, I don't know how to, and it kind of gatekeeps it to some extent. But anyway, yeah, that's my mind running. That's my mind running. Look at you. You're like, I want no part in this.
Movements are good. Movements are good. I mean, it's a way to kind of like push the music out. And I'm a piano movement has been fantastic to watch. Like amazing to watch. Especially, I'm not saying I was there from the beginning, but I guess like in terms of like the beginning. SA UK Connect.
Let's say SA UK Connect.
I definitely was
yes.
like the one to be like, guys.
Do you distribute my piano? You do distribute piano.
No, so like obviously our latest record with Taxin is a hybrid sound of like Afro Tech, Afro House.
Yes.
And I'm a piano track, and it's an interesting one because for me, when I first got into Defected, there was a lot of chatter about, sign, I'm a piano track, you sign. And I was like, I've got work to do in the Afro house space, people that I've been servicing for a very long time. Now I'm in the A&R and I can sign records. I've got this side to deal with, you know what I mean? And to kind of help and develop records and learn the business side of this this music.
Do you feel like you owe it to the music?
Of course, 100%. Like, and also I'm ahead of the curve on it, in terms of like, I have relationships.
Yeah.
I get music early. I can see things happening. I'm already in this kind of this thing where I'm coming all the time. Yes, I'm not always going to Amapiano parties, but I'm going to places where Amapiano is being played. I've noticed that, okay, in 2018, no Amapiano was in the shops in the Santa Mall, or even in Hyde Park Mall, or even in Cape Town. I came back and it was. So yeah, like I've seen that side of things, but that doesn't necessarily mean I need to react and do something about it.
Okay,
And I don't have any relationships with like that with people in that scene like that, and let them grow it. Let them do their thing.
Let them do their thing. They're doing great. Do you get me? Let them do their thing.
Yeah, I just think like I just wanted to, push out some records in the Afro house side, or however you call it. And then an opportunity came with this Taxin record. I came across it and I was just like, after all the talks about maybe signing I'm a piano record, like lots of UK people saying, oh, you should sign a record from I'm a piano, like someone UK based us, and I was like, nah, I'm not. First of all, definitely not gonna do that. This was the record where I felt like, okay, I'm bridging something. It's a new type of sound. It's a new effort from an artist to try and bring in the log drum kind of thing, and still keep it quite emotive and soulful and stuff like that. And I thought, I want to try and put this out and see how it's received. Yeah. So, we don't put out I'm a piano, no. But we can put out a kind of version of it, and I've just is the first one I've tried, and yeah, it's been received really well.
That's good. I mean, listen, I mean, I'm the kind of person who also believes that I don't believe in not following per se, but if something is already if something already has eyes, like it's fine. You don't have to. You can be a pioneer of something else in the process of that.
Yeah, and I think also that like if Amapiano is doing so well, but also years ago when was it Gom? Is it
Gom?
right? Yeah. If I said it
You know,
correctly.
I actually needed to understand if you guys were into Scrum. I would assume you guys were into Scrum.
Some people,
if you were
some
given it.
people were into it, but I don't think it really didn't like hit hard like that. I think DJ Lag.
Because we didn't push it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
We didn't push it as our own sound. We didn't push it hard enough.
Yeah,
That was our mistake.
DJ Lag was doing cool, but my point was gonna be that like when that came into play, I think like everything kind of dance music related got shifted.
Yeah.
Like, so this was like the number one.
Yeah, we believe it opened a channel for us in terms of a lot of international countries looking at us like that. Yeah.
But now I think with Amapiano's doing what it's doing,
Yes.
I don't think like Afro Tech and Deep House and Soulful House has really suffered too much. It's just been like maybe a couple, like if there's steps, there's maybe like 3, 4, 5 steps behind, but it's not
far, yeah.
it's not visible.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not listening to that anymore at all. We can listen to both.
100%.
So that's the good thing about the position I'm in now, is that there's this music that's doing amazing, but I can still put out a cool records. I don't feel under pressure. I feel like I've got a clear lane and clear visibility of what I want to do as a record label owner, A&R, and stuff like that. So I'm just happy that both can live in almost the same space, and it's not really a thing.
Same.
It's good. It means that like music from our continent can live with each other, because that's how it should be.
Right.
Afro, I don't know what, like, the kind of Amapiano they do in the West is living out there. Amapiano's living, Afrotech is living. Everybody, or Afro House, everybody's gigging. Everyone's doing shows. Africa's winning. So that's what it's about. I think, but we had to go through other moments where one gets sidelined.
Yeah, so one gets sidelined.
Let this one pull through. And then we're just realizing, actually, all of it can
exist. It can
coexist. One is always going to be popular than the other, and that's fine.
Yes.
But let's not make the gap so wide.
Let's not make the gap. So I agree. I mean, I completely 100% agree. I mean, South Africa. Having been someone who's played in many South African clubs, the one thing that I can attest to is our inclusivity, in the sense of you'll find that we play every genre, multiple genres rather, in the club, more than one genre. So when we start, for instance, and I did say in my last show, the clubs are not doing anybody any favors by booking only, let me say, one genre DJs for in that particular club. You're no longer doing us a favor. What you just said, that we can all coexist, definitely, and it's just that not one. It doesn't have to be one genre that gets the spotlight at a time. That doesn't have to happen. And in South Africa, it's something that really didn't happen like that, because, like I said, we will play Afrobeat, house, hip hop in one night.
Yeah. Which I didn't know. I wasn't aware they were doing.
Really?
Until I played them. Yeah, until I played them Mojo Camp.
Yeah.
Or how it's been received. So yeah, you can play those genres, but how it's been received is a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, there's always going to be. It happens everywhere. There's always going to be one genre which is going to just like smash everything out of the park. But no, is it smashing something out of the park, or is that the story of the night?
Okay.
That's what the story should be. That's the middle chapter of the night. Yeah, if Amapiano's the middle of the night, doesn't mean that you can't do a great deep house set. It doesn't mean you can't a great hip hop set or an Afrobeat set. Do you know what I mean? Like, just it's cool.
I wish that everybody could understand that and just understand that positioning exactly, because there's no reason for I'm sorry, I can't go clubbing anymore as a consumer just because I get there and let me say one genre is playing nowadays and it annoys me. I walk out. I'm like, you guys are taking my club culture experience away from me.
Well, yeah, some clubs do it in UK, but we do a lot of we it's funny that we actually took my piano and we actually made up just my piano nights. We didn't mix it in.
That's fine. I mean, things like that, niche, let me call them niche movements.
Niche
They kind of
movement.
work. They kind of work for a specific, especially in your guys' area. If it's something you're building, it's something you're building. So you don't have to, fusion it with a lot of other sounds. Find the market, play for the market.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like how you have your Deep in the Cities, for instance, where you just have like,
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, because besides, in some situations, people need that. It's
Cool, and it's cool. It's part of the
cool.
ecosystem.
I mean, exactly, it's cool. It's very much cool. It's the gatekeeping process of it that's annoying. But anyway, that's the most used term, by the way, in South African music.
Yeah, no, it's just been for me, like it's been a great journey to just see everything kind of pop
Same.
off and do his thing and I'm just glad now to just kind of be putting out some records, and I'm excited about some plans that maybe not necessarily in place, but they're just accessible now to do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Are you talking about stuff that you're putting out on the label?
Just being able to do it.
Just being able to. It's a big thing, ne?
It's a
It's a
massive thing.
huge thing.
It's a massive thing, and it's all part of the story. I'm glad I'm in the position I'm in now, because I feel like I think I've got a big part to play in maybe maybe the first big record that comes out of SA in the kind of in the Afro house space. I feel like it's gonna come.
Yeah. So I remember last.
Feel like
I like you saying I feel, because I think it's all in the.
It's all in the
Such a
feeling.
spiritual thing also.
Not to say there hasn't been records, because there has been records, but I mean to really like find that pocket, that kind of Jerusalem pocket, but like an actual like real. I'm not saying it's not a real record, but it's just not too commercial. It's not too underground, but it's like it's there and it's just going crazy across everywhere. I feel like I'll get there.
Probably. I believe you will. You listen.
I really want to. It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot, but you also need like so many factors. You need a bit of luck. You need a bit of luck as well.
You do need a bit of luck. A lot of luck, actually. Let's even say a bit of luck. Some luck.
I want to do a
Maybe
bit.
like.
I don't want to be a lot. I want to be a bit.
You want to be a bit.
Yeah. Because I want to know that I did it, and then it's like.
And then
I just need that one little spicy, one little spicy TikTok from like someone that's got like 50 billion followers, like Beyonce. Just to say that's the little luck, not the big luck. That's the little luck. But yeah, like the process of, and I think you asked me a little bit earlier. I think my thing with Sondela is to kind of like and I've said this so many times, big up to all the record labels that have ever put out records in our space, because where I'm sitting, I know that it's a lot of hard work when you are an independent and there's only just you and your mate.
Yeah.
And you're putting out music for to just make some money for a talented artist, or make money for yourself to feed your family, or to just kind of get inspiration. Big up to all the labels, man. Like, it's tough.
No, big up to all the labels. Big up to all the labels. Big up to all the labels.
So Sondela's here in addition.
I know it's an addition. My
in
my
addition.
my point earlier on was that it's about damn time that something from such a huge organization
100%.
pulled out.
Yeah,
Because we see, for instance, your Aluko. Aluko is like, I can say it's an independent record label, if I can say that, But the kind of work that Aluko is doing, and has been doing, it's like, it's great. It's that sometimes it's just like when when a major picks you up just as an independent artist, you kind of need that kind of, let me put it as a quote unquote, like a cosign, quote unquote. But what I'm saying is, for African music to have a division like how you guys are doing on such a huge organization that's been in existence since the 80s or what?
99 actually.
Do you get me?
Yeah. I know, and then resources is good, and we've got a lot of like both to for our role to kind of make things happen.
So I'm not taking away from, everybody knows I shout out to all record
Shout out
labels,
to
the
all
independent
labels.
I
It's
shout
never-
out,
it's-
as long as you're not screwing kids over.
Exactly, and we're not. And I'm definitely not here to be taken over, because it's like the ecosystem has existed with all the people have taken chances on, funding a record to put out to market. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And we are here to, in addition to. So
In addition, yeah.
there's definitely got to be things that we have to do, which have to be different, but also to be a part of the ecosystem to make the ecosystem make sense.
100%.
So if the loop is not complete, we're here to complete the loop, because
100%.
there's the necessary of this label putting things out, this label doing this, Sondela putting out music, but also maybe doing an events or having the broadcasting house, which would then invite some, because we just had a Luku on our
I saw that.
broadcasting network.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what I mean?
We've
done that.
I saw it. I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah, you saw it.
Definitely saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So you could be in a position, if you want, to be like, okay, yeah, we are Sondela, we work with Defected, and we're only going to supplement the artists we sign. No, that doesn't work. We have a platform. Luca, come.
Look, come. More black pull up.
More black pull out. Like, if you're in town, let's make it
Let's
happen.
make something happen.
We don't release I'm a Piano. Kabza, come play. 600,000 views.
Yeah,
Do you know
I
what I
saw
mean?
that too.
I haven't put out an Oscar record. Oscar, come.
I saw that too.
250,000 hits on Defective platform, which also has 1 million subscribers. So that you have an exposure to a different market. You know what I mean? I've never heard you before. And being like cool. Like, and that's where, like, that if I can't sign a record from Kaza the Small or Scorpion Kings, because maybe the dynamics of that doesn't work for us
Yes,
or work
yes,
for them,
yes.
because they've got their own
That's
thing with
okay.
piano, and that's totally okay. But we have something else that we could probably do, and they've happily got my producers come through, Shims has come through, At Jazz has come through. Do you know what I mean? Like, so Lazarus Man has come through and did a set for us. On the fact, Julian Gomez, Kid Frank, who does Stay True Sounds, interviews me, Franco, Kitty, Amor, and Jeff about the landscape of Afro house music from the UK, from a Portuguese Angolan side to South African side. You know what I mean? So there is lots of things that we have available to us on the resource side of things, which we can do outside of the record label.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To help, to see if we can assist people. You know, we have a playlist. I know the playlist is not massive, but I put everyone's tunes in there, which I kind of like and stuff like that. And I don't discriminate on what labels they are. So we have ways to, I guess, help the ecosystem of the music that we're putting out there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I kind of look at it and try to do things.
I do this thing where, so I get, I'm sure, I get a lot of producers that send me stuff, or that send me stuff, but sometimes they're like, oh, I can't play this, but I know someone who'd want to license this. Can I send some to you, some stuff?
You can
for
send
to
some
listen
stuff to
to?
me. But something...
Like, forward you some stuff
yes,
from
forward
them.
me some stuff. But at the same time, because of the resources that we have, my goal, and I like demos. I don't mind demos. I'm looking a little bit further than just a demo.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at more of the creation from scratch to full production of tracks.
When you say curation from scratch,
Like bringing Morda and Maverick Sabre together, for example. So Morda, we know who Morda is. If you know who Maverick Sabre is, bringing a song like that together. It's something that would never.
I see.
There's something that would never happen.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Because if I getting demos is cool, and I'm not saying like songs that we've put out is have a lot of them have been demos, but then that is just probably operating the same as every other label, which is cool, and there's no problem. There's absolutely no problem with it. That's right. But with some of the resources that we have, we can probably bring it one step further, and we can be like, all right, cool. Can we collaborate with these two people?
That's great.
To kind of bring a different type of vibe.
That's great. I mean, if you've got that kind of level of resource, might as well.
Yeah.
Because you must have a big resources to be able to bring people together in a space and say, let's do something.
And different, yeah. So my thing is to be like, okay, let me try, and let's just absolutely like no brainer, and it's absolutely amazing. Let me not try and have a South African or an African producer with a African vocalist. Okay, if they're from South Africa and maybe Tanzania or from West Africa, maybe we can do those type of projects. But let me not try and steer away from a South African artist and a South African vocalist.
I see.
Let me do a vocalist from South Africa and someone from Europe. Or a European vocalist with someone from South Africa, if and where I can, and I know other labels are doing that, but we may be able to, massage the conversation a little bit, a bit easier. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we might have more resources for the studio time or anything else in the contract that we can kind of facilitate. Do you know what I mean? And plus, we've got a studio in our basement at Defected that we have actually made things when we've invited some of our acts to come over and play at Ministry of Sound. We did a Sondela gig in November and one in April. It's getting people like to just collaborate a little bit different while the opportunity is there in front of them. Do you know what I mean? So there are some records that I've heard people making. I'm like, oh damn, I would like to sign it. But then I'm thinking actually the bigger goal is maybe to have that vocalist doing with this person here, or that producer doing it, this person here, and try some different kind of
combinations. I see where your mind is at, and it makes sense for me right now, because I remember when you told me that, like, for you personally, being a producer is not something that's up there for you. Like I remember you used the words of, I don't want to really be a DJ that makes music, rather. I think you used those words.
Yeah, that has to make music.
That has to make
and I get
music.
why there's from maybe a booking perspective, they could be
It's like a tool, ne?
Yeah, but I think there's people out there that don't make music that are major players in the game.
I feel you in that, and I want to get your mind, your more of what you mean in that, because I feel like I might be in the similar mindset.
Yeah, I mean, there's people like Benji B, for example, who creates music for Louis Vuitton. I don't know if he's made a record. I've never seen a record from him. Giles Peterson is the same thing. These are people who are selectors. They are tastemakers, curators. Zane Lowe, exactly. These people who are like, they're big movers and shakers in the industry.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Sef Kombo can be the same. I like to executive produce, actually.
I feel you.
I like walking into a studio and be
Nah, hear this. Do it like this. Try this
Can
here.
you try this here? Yes, that's the record.
Try this here.
I'm signing it today. So I think like I like that side of it. I love radio. I love I love exposing music. So like the whole point of
We
like,
actually have a lot
producing
more in
music-
common than I thought.
Yeah, exposing music is great for me. I love that. So I just feel like that's kind of like my position, my place. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been an amazing ride, an amazing ride.
Yeah, I feel that actually, because when I was doing your mini intro, you're like, maybe on the second part.
Yeah, I've made some records. I just haven't put them out, and maybe I will, but who knows?
Who knows?
Who
Like,
knows? I don't want to pressure myself to put music out just to get like.
I
50 people
understand having to feel like you have to is kind of sucks. I was actually, funny enough, I started working on a song with Gino, and
Gino Brown?
Yeah, with Gino Brown. Finished it. We finished it, and I think so. Some people have heard the song and they love it, but I told myself that not. I told myself recently. I was like, oh, I don't like this song anymore.
I was just about to sign it. I haven't even heard it. Go against all my morals. Like, it's SA vocal. Are you vocal in it? Or
No,
you
I'm
just
co-producing.
Oh, co-producer. Okay, the
Yeah.
co-producer thing. Come on.
I don't. I'm only.
Let's get the deal done.
People love that song, but I said, and I'm listening to it back. Like I remember it was a month ago. I'm like, Flip, I want to change the song. I want to change the vocal. I want to change it. I want to change it. People don't know that actually right now. This is the first time I'm saying this in
Exclusive.
In a
Only
public-
exclusives.
changing completely. And funny enough, in the process, I was also working on 2 more songs. But I gave that one attention because like this song is the song is gonna be it's the song. But now I'm like, no, I need to change the beat pattern of it. I just need to change the vocal. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But I feel you when you also say that, like you. I sometimes also am like, no man, I'm a commentator in music. I'm a media personality. I'm a DJ. I want that's what I want in my life. I'm a curator. Do you get me? And I'm happy about that. Whenever I have to, step into production, I dread it sometimes. Me personally.
Yeah, I know
Like,
what
I
you mean.
dread it.
I know what you mean. Actually, it's funny. I've got a production. I've got a studio in my room. I'll switch on Ableton. I'll switch on Push, and this is literally this is how it goes. I'm tired, man. Honestly, just like bun this, and just. So I like bringing things together. So like last year, was it last year? I think it was. A guy I met at BBC years ago when I was doing radio shows. He then got in contact. I don't even know. We were just talking for ages. Then he told me, yeah, when I left BBC, I found this singer. And then we started working with her, and she did really well. That singer is Georgia Smith. I was like, right, I didn't even know you was working with her. Cool. And then he's like, yeah, she did this song, Guilty Beats. Obviously, she got ripped to shreds for the Guilty Beats song she did with the I'm a Piano and everything. So, and he's like, want some remixes. I'm like, okay, yeah, like, got a few people. Lemon and Herb. I put that together. All of this Lemon and Herb remix. Georgia Smith and Guilty Beats. I did a tiny bit of A&R on it. As in like arrangement wise, very easy to work with, and I let the judge, sort out what they needed to sort out to, get rewarded for that remix. That fuels me. Think that fuels me more
Yeah,
than
I
jumping
feel
on if it's a ghost producer and making a record that doesn't really feel authentic to me. Like if I can do more of that, and that's why I say I feel like earlier I was saying about who I'm trying to kind of build records with at Sondela. It would have been amazing to do like Georgia and whoever's kind of coming to do. Whoever's coming, Frigid Armadillo, for example. Do you know what I mean? It'd be amazing to do something like that. That excites me. Not Sef Kombo record might excite me. It might be for a little bit of the vibe.
For a little bit of a vibe.
But if I can, bring like two worlds together, that's like that excites me like a lot more. So
I love that. We should wrap up this conversation very soon. We should wrap it up. But just in the spirit of that, and also just trying to wrap it up, what exactly what exactly is in store for you and the work that you're doing right now? What do you see yourself accomplishing from what you're doing?
I feel like I'll get a Grammy nomination.
Away.
I think it's possible.
Away.
I think there's enough talent in our on this side of the world, in the continent, on the dance electronic music side, to go grab that. Do you know what I mean? Like on the like a single, I feel like there's all possibilities out there. And I'm just working hard to kind of get some unlikely combinations together.
I love that.
That's why I see, and I think there's artists that are willing to work on that as well. Like just on cool records. I think there is. I think maybe there might be a bit of red tape with the deals they locked in and stuff like that.
Probably.
But that's probably that'll probably be the frustrating part. But all possibilities are there.
Or maybe find other artists that don't have the red tape.
Yeah, I could do that, and I think that's also something I'm working on. But I just feel like there's some artists I feel like, could work with each other, and I just feel like a musician can make a record for Adele. I just feel like it's possible. Like,
I
you know what I mean?
see
Like,
it. I see it.
I'm talking about colliding of like
I see
two
it.
kind of like major artists in their own right.
In their own
you know
right.
what I
I
mean?
see
Like
it.
like Kai and it coming on something.
I see it actually.
So I'd love to work on trying something like that and honing in people's like talents. That's what I see really. But yeah, we'll see. It's just a great journey that I'm on. I'm just enjoying
It is.
it. And
It
pushing.
legitimately is. It legitimately is. Having to see you consistently being here for the past how many summers now?
5. This is my 5th summer here. Yeah.
Past 5 summers. It's some level of commitment to what you want to get out of whatever you're doing. Clearly.
Yeah.
What do you like about South Africa the most?
The vibe.
A vibe. That's something that you cannot deny, actually.
Definitely a good vibe.
That's something that you cannot deny.
Good vibe.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Is there anything that you want to say to anyone who'd be watching this, who's going to support you for the very first time, or someone who's already supporting you, or what you do?
Just follow me on the socials at Sef Kombo, SEFKOMBO. Follow Sai as well.
We'll pin it down below.
Just follow the journey. I mean, I'm doing some cool gigs next year as well, and hopefully some really cool releases. Just building up the vibe. I know, like, we'll talk about the demos. So, do throw demos over and stuff like that, because it doesn't stop at, I don't want to listen to demos.
Yes.
I will, but I might find demos where I can take it to, like, maybe say, like, maybe we can do something with this, which I have actually done, for example. So, just throw over demos, throw over your music. Don't be afraid. Don't take any rejection personally. That's good advice.
That's good advice.
Yeah, don't take it personally, because your time will come. Keep on going.
Have you, by the way, this is me now just popping into some stuff in my mind. Has Sondela done some shows here?
Yeah, so Sondela will be doing a show at the playground
Oh, yeah.
on the 18th of December.
No kidding.
No kidding.
How did I miss that? Because I know Defected is doing a show at Altitude.
How do you know Defected doing the show at Alfie?
And I don't
but you
know
don't
Sondela.
The very next day.
That's true. I don't know. I don't know how
How
I
did we
missed.
get there?
I was actually looking to see, because I remember just browsing on the Defected website, and I was looking to see if Sondela would
So
be
if you had
doing
scrolled down one more inch,
anything.
you would have seen our thing.
Selective watching clearly. No, but how is it? How did I miss it? I don't know how I missed it. I don't know
It's
how I
alright.
missed it.
Well, now you know.
Now I know. Now I know. It's
Yeah.
good. Now I know. And okay, yeah.
Well,
Otherwise,
thank you for having me.
Thank
it's
you for
like
pulling
been a
up, man.
great chat.
this is the
about-
longest chat we've probably ever had on the show.
Yeah, well, it's just been a mix of things. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, the story probably isn't fully even complete. There's things
No, I can
missing, there's
feel
this,
it's not
But
complete.
the fact is like it's good to kind of just have a conversation, lay it out, talk about all things music in
Yeah,
SA
100%.
and London and UK and
Yeah, we need to catch up at the same time next year on everything we couldn't finish this, and just also everything from this conversation until the next conversation. And
yeah, absolutely, and
Just
see
the
if anything
gags.
that I have
Yeah.
said has been fulfilled
yeah,
as well. So
I'll
yeah.
check on that. I'll I'll check on that.
Yeah.
We should catch up again next year. Thank you again for pulling up. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Been dope.
Otherwise, I was Sef Kombo. This is Sai Jones signing out right here on the Sai Sessions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a comment on anything that we've talked about today. If you've got anything that you want to share with us, pull up on it right now. For now, this is us saying, mwah.
Aye.